What's up, movie fans and Netflix bingers? This is the Bros Who Binge podcast. My name is Adam Schubert, and as always, I'm joined by Lyndon Burton. Lyndon, how are you doing this week?
I'm doing well, man. Look, every episode I'm going to plug to start off February 4th. February 4th, the live event is coming. The Pitch It match, the Pitch It season begins February 4th at 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. West Coast. The pre-fight interviews have begun. The hashtag pre-fight interview is out. I literally earlier today did the Dan Exclaims pre-fight interview. That's dropping on Monday. And then we'll probably drop one, either Shamit or Jake's one later that week. And then the following same, but like it's here, man. And like a lot of words have been spoken and I am hype. I'm loving it.
Yeah, Hasdick pretty much came out the gate and it's called almost everybody out. Not just Dan Exclaims.
He definitely called me out.
Yeah, definitely called you out.
Look, I'm here, man. As the champ, I'm just here. I love seeing the new blood, but like they better understand, like it ain't no joke. Like you may be good at anime, dog, but like, are you good at sports? Are you good at music? Like, you know, like look.
No, that's the thing about this season of Pitch It that not a lot of people understand is we're not going to reuse a lot of those questions.
No.
Well, we reuse some of them, I promise, because like, you know, there really is only so many questions, but the questions that are coming out now, I'm just like, oof. Like,
glad I'm not competing.
That's a tough question. Like some of the stuff that Ian's put in there, I'm like, oof. I don't know if I can answer that one.
It's rough, but like it's serious though. I'm excited and it's going to be super, super dope. But speaking on this episode, we have a great interview for you guys this week. I'm hype on that as well.
We do probably want to, you know, we haven't had a good interview in a while. COVID kind of threw everything for a loop, even though, it's just a little bit difficult because we had like a whole scheme that we were going through, and now we're trying to readjust. In 2021, we're bringing back some of the interviews. Andres Cabrera is someone that we really highly respect in the movie space.
Yep.
And I'm definitely a fan of his from the Schmodown.
Yep, and his work at First Cut with RB3 and everything, everything they're doing. So yeah, we get to talk to Andres today.
Geeks of Color.
Yeah, Geeks of Color. He writes for over there. So I'm super excited to talk to him. One of our better conversations we've had, and like we've had some very damn good ones on the show. But like Super said, we're getting you here with this Pitch It series, live stuff going on Twitch. We're giving you these interviews again, cranking up. Bros Who Binge just cranking back up for
the
2021.
goal is to get Andres Cabrera and RB3 to come on
a pitch it match, man. Yeah, man. I'm just gonna say this. We have some surprises this year. Maybe some people won't be in the league, but maybe they'll give us some one-off matches. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm cool with one-off matches, and then if they enjoy it, join the league next year. But you guys got a lot to look forward to. But Schubert, whenever you're ready, man, because we got a lot of news that I'm excited to talk about, and plus we have that interview, and then your honor this week. Yeah, I'm just every week I ask myself, how can this get worse? And every week they show me how this can keep getting worse.
It also shows you that this dude Adam just has no morals.
None. Yeah. We gonna get to it.
Not a single moral.
We're gonna get to all of that because I have so many your honor thoughts. Just because it's gotten to the point to where I have to watch these episodes faster than my girlfriend can, so I've lost the person to talk to it with. So you're the only person I talk to this about because like my girlfriend's like 3 episodes back. I'm like, I'm sorry, I got to keep it going. The people are asking for it. Can't wait up.
Yeah, man. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to right after our interview with Andres. So that's going to be really exciting. There was a surprising bit of news today, some good trailers, and just one big story that we definitely got to spend some time on. So I'm ready to jump in on into this. So let's get started. So first, I want to do a little gaming note. I'm a little excited right now because I just got Squadrons in the mail, so I'm gonna be playing that this weekend. But
are you using GameFly?
No, I'm not using GameFly. I bought it.
You said in the mail. I was like,
yeah,
yo, this is my Amazon guy. I was like, are you using GameFly?
No. But I have some good news, some bad news, and some interesting news in the world of gaming. First, the bad news is that Harry Potter, the open world game, I think it's called Harry Potter Legacy, has been pushed back to 2022, which is kind of a bummer.
You know, make the like, after playing Cyberpunk, and I know this is not a gaming pod, but just after playing Cyberpunk on my generation on my PlayStation 4, I enjoy the game because I enjoy that aesthetic and stuff. But like, it's buggy as hell, and like, if this open world game is trying to be like everybody coming in and it's fully open, like you got to make sure it's not buggy. Like Skyrim put in the work to make sure their game could do that. Like there's different, like it takes a lot to make that happen. So if it's pushed back, I hope it's for the better instead of them rushing something out, because Cyberpunk 2077 did not live up to the hype.
That's fair. And open world games, I guess I don't really understand too much of the concept, because like there's the ones that are like Skyrim that have, you and I could be playing in the same space, in the same game. And then there's, like your Far Cries and your Red Dead Redemptions that are all within like a computer generated. So that goes into my good story here. Which one of these will this property fall into? Lucasfilm Games is going to make a branded Star Wars game. And it's struck a collaboration with Ubisoft, the game company behind titles like Assassin's Creed and Far Cry, to develop a new story-driven open world video game set in the Star Wars galaxy, which makes me think that it will be like Far Cry and Assassin's Creed.
Hey, I'm not mad at that. That'd be lit. Everybody all up in there, different Jedis and whatnot. I'm cool with that.
And, I don't know which direction they're going to go. I feel like the easy route would be to do something Mandalorian-esque, like a bounty hunter open world game, in the vein of Far Cry or Assassin's Creed. They should just make
it where you choose your own. I know this is asking a lot, but just put us in the Star Wars world and give us 4 different classes: bounty hunter, Mandalorian, Jedi, and smuggler, and let us go down the paths.
Yeah, I think that's very similar to what that Harry Potter game is supposed to offer, where you could be like an R, or you can be like, I think you can even be like a Quidditch player. You
can do like so much shit. That's what I'm saying. If you're gonna do Star Wars, make it open.
So I don't know what exactly it is, but this is exactly what I've been clamoring for. If it is, because I was just thinking before I even saw the story, I was like, man, with all the success in Mandalorian, making a Mandalorian-esque game where you're like, you can go from world to world and do different things.
You can make it Red Dead Redemption-esque, where he's just like,
that's what I'm thinking,
out in the West, just going to different planets, doing different bounty huntings and whatnot, and different things. I'd be down for that.
And then the interesting news is that they are also looking to develop an Indiana Jones game. So would that fall into this whole open world thing too, where
I feel like that's Uncharted. I feel like that's Lucasfilm saying, oh, we missed the boat. And Uncharted has been dominating for years, and they're gonna do the real Nathan Drake, the first Nathan, Indiana. So I'd
play that game.
Mm-hmm. I'd play it too.
But that's it for the gaming news. I just thought that was interesting because everyone would love to see a Star Wars open world game. But the next bit of news is that Deadpool confirmed rated R, first rated R film in the MCU.
They had to do it, man. I applaud them for doing it, and they're doing it the right way. Kevin Feige also said that they haven't fully embraced the X-Men yet, but it's coming, and they're talking about plans every day. But for right now, I feel like Fantastic Four is like that is the headway where we're going right now with Fantastic Four, New Avengers, and those are the 2 things we're trying to establish.
Isn't Eternal supposed to generate something that could eventually lead into that?
Inhumans and X-Men. That's what Eternals will lead the pathway for. But for right now, multiverse, Fantastic Four, New Avengers, that's the headway we're going. And we're about to get WandaVision. Low-key, next week we'll have WandaVision to review.
That's true. Yeah. WandaVision is Friday, so that's going to be really fun.
Yep.
But Lyndon, let's go into the big news of the week.
Got you. So Netflix has unveiled the actors who will make up the Sparrow Academy, which was formed by Hargraves in the alternate 2019 season of Umbrella Academy. So basically, here are the people that are going to be in. I'm not starting at the top with the leader, because to me, I don't care if he's the leader. I got to start with the name that blew my mind. So for those out there who are Degrassi fans, if you remember Coked Out Craig, a.k.a. Craig the musician, a.k.a. Craig that cheated on Ashley, a.k.a. Craig that fucked over...
Cheated on Manny.
Cheated on Ashley, and then he messed up him and Joey's relationship. Yeah, that Craig. Jake Epstein, back in acting, is in the Umbrella Academy. He's gonna
can't say that, bro.
What you mean? What do I mean? I can't say that.
He's been in Star Trek Discovery. He was in the Suits. He was in Designated Survivor.
Spider-Man Broadway too.
Eek.
I'm just saying he might. I think he was. I don't want to say he was Spider-Man, but he might have been. I don't know. But anyway, all right, my bad. He's been in acting, but it just seems like this is now he's in the forefront. And I asked Schubert, I texted him, I was like, yo, we're gonna see more Degrassi actors. It's like Spinner and Paige are gonna start getting roles again. Like, I'm down. Bring the people back. But Jake Epstein will play Alfonso, Sparrow number 4. Years of crime fighting has left his face and body with countless visual reminders of his battles. To compensate, Alfonso is armed with a caustic and biting sense of humor. The only thing he likes better than verbally battering anyone foolish enough to get in his face is good pizza and a 6-pack of beer. All right, now let's go to the top. Justin Cornwell is Marcus.
He sounds like a mixture of Klaus and Diego.
Diego, yeah, he does. Justin Cornwell will play Marcus, Sparrow number 1, a charming, chiseled colossus, honest, virtuous, and demanding. Marcus keeps the family together, graceful but lethal, calculated but compassionate. He's as smart and as strong. Marcus is disciplined, rational, and in control. He oozes confidence, leadership without ever having to raise his voice. This is what Diego and both what's my guy's name? The big gorilla man. This is what
Luther.
Yeah, this is what Luther and Diego both want to be. It sounds like this is like the perfect version of their two ideas. The next person is Justin H. Min. He'll play Ben. So it's not the Ben that we know, the sweet Ben that we know and love. This Ben is a Machiavellian tactician wrapped up in a pretty boy body with a rumbling inner squid, vicious, pragmatic, and hypervigilant. Ben is determined to gain his status as leader at all costs. The third Sparrow is played by Brittany Oldford, and she will play Faye. Faye is the world in a special way. She comes across as a misanthrope who would rather be alone than spend even a second with you. But truth be told, Faye wishes she had a friend. Most of the time, Faye is the smartest person in the room, willing to work things out. But if you cross her, there's no looking back because Faye won't stop until the job is done. The next person is played by Genesis Rodriguez. Will play Sloan, a romantic and dreamer who feels a higher cosmic calling, leaving her eager to see the world and experience a life beyond her upbringing, but obligations to her family keep Sloan tethered to the academy, as does her fear of crossing the family line. But Sloan has plans, and one day she might be brave enough just to act on them. That sounds like Page. That sounds like what's his name? I forgot his name. Ethan Page. What's Elliot Page?
Oh yeah, Elliot Page.
Elliot Page. Yeah, that sounds like Elliot Page's character. So pretty like because
Vanya.
Vanya, because Vanya didn't want to be a part of the family too much either. So the next one we got is Cassie David. Larry David's daughter, I believe, is playing Jamie, Sparrow number 6. Jamie is a loner hidden under a hoodie. She doesn't say much because she doesn't have to. Jamie has a fear-inducing snarl. Catch a glimpse of it, and you'll run across the street to avoid what follows. Smart and sharp as a knife. She spends most of her time hanging with Alfonso, her only friend. And then the final one is the existential dread-inducing Cychrome Cube will play Christopher. Christopher's a telekinetic cube of unknown origin. He can turn the room freezing cold and induce paralyzing fear. He acts as the Sparrow's consulted oracle. Consulted oracle who hands out incredible advice and serves as the family's mediator. Trustworthy, loyal, and is treated by the Sparrows like any other sibling. Christopher is a force to be reckoned with. Interesting. The cube. This sounds interesting, man. I feel like, this group of people sounds like they can beat the Umbrella Academy's ass right now. And I haven't even seen them fight.
Facts.
I don't even know their powers.
Facts. Yeah. It's definitely an interesting casting group. Besides Jake Epstein, a lot of names that we can't really recognize.
The most popular one is Cassie David, and that's just because of her dad.
And yeah, mainly because of her dad, and she's more of a writer anyway. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting that she's stepping in and taking on this role. But yeah, the Sparrow Academy seems like a force to be reckoned with. I'm
interested to see their powers, man. And I'm interested to see how the gang handles it. There's more of them. Like the only one I have confidence in Umbrella Academy is 5. And I had confidence in Diego, but like Diego's powers don't seem like they're very useful too much sometimes. Like he was getting his ass beat by hitmen. Like he wasn't putting up too much of a fight. Like if 5's the one, and Luther's all right with his strength. And Vanya has great power, but she can't really control it. So
Klaus is pretty much useless at this point because
Ben can't help him.
Because Ben can't help him, and then the rumor girl is she's still pretty powerful.
Yeah, I guess like if you listen to her and you hear her rumor,
Well,
otherwise
that's the thing. Like for people who don't know who she is, it's helpful because like
that's true. Yeah, because
I
you
don't
could get
know.
caught. You could get caught by it pretty fast. I understand what you're saying, 100%. But excited to see what's up with the Sparrow Academy and the new season of Umbrella Academy. They got me hyped. This is a way to get people intrigued in your new season. So good on them. Next up, we got some trailers. First one we got is Barb and Star visit Coastal Del Mar. This is a trailer I saw in a movie. I'm pretty sure I saw
Oh, you
this
did?
in. Yeah, I don't know it. It wasn't Wonder Woman. I had to see this in Tenet, and I'm pretty sure I've seen this like in Tenet. So I didn't know this
Oh
was a
yeah,
new
you know what?
trailer.
I'm pretty sure I saw it in Tenet too.
Yeah. So, but I mean, hey, it looks good. Is it like about to drop or
A
something?
different trailer.
Mm,
Yeah, it's about to drop. It's gonna drop in
okay.
February 12th.
Looks like
And
a pretty good comedy.
yeah, Kristen Wiig teaming up with Annie Mumolo again. Annie Mumolo wrote Bridesmaids.
Okay. Cool.
So it should be a good team up. I mean, Jamie Dornan is going to be in this. Damon Wayans Jr.
Oh, my boy, Coach.
Yeah. So, and actually, Josh Greenbaum, who is directing it, directed many of the episodes of New Girl. So
Oh, okay.
it's going to be a comedy. I think it'll be, in the era of straight to home
DVD
purchases.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a pretty fun comedy, and it could, be a similar situation to Palm Springs, a comedy we don't expect to be great.
Yeah, and I'm always down for that. Speaking on the New Girl team, I just wish my boy Max Greenfield would get off that CBS show, The Neighborhood, and get on some movies, man. But I digress.
I don't know if you saw the Netflix movie, The Wrong Missy.
He was in that.
No, but did you see? You know what I'm talking about?
David
Spade comedy.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, this reminds me a lot of what that was, and it was actually a surprisingly funny film on Netflix. So
especially for David Spade, didn't see that coming for him. So yeah,
it was more for the chick.
Yeah, but I'm excited to see Barb and Star visit Coastal Del Mar. The next thing we got is Bliss, which is an Amazon Owen Wilson, Selma Hayek movie. And boy, did that blew my mind. Like this whole idea of her being a scientist that maybe created an alternate reality, or is he imagining that and going crazy and forgetting his like stuff with his real life, or is it real? All of these things giving me Inception, did it happen, or is this a simulation type vibes? I loved it. Just more reason to just jump on the Amazon bandwagon and them showing that they're putting out good content.
Yeah, Owen Wilson. I can't even think of the last thing that I've seen him in. I know he's been doing things.
Is this the Owen Wilson songs?
It could be. I mean, a lot of the comedy actors have wanted to jump more into the drama. I think Adam Sandler really kind of opened a lot of people's eyes. Because I saw there was where Andy Samberg was saying, I would love to do an Uncut Gems.
See, and look, Sandler.
These comedy guys really want to show that they can act in, drama movies. And this is Owen Wilson's opportunity on a big stage like Amazon to come out with a movie with Selma Hayek and do something a little different. And I think based on the trailer, it looks really exciting.
It looked like, I need to watch this. Whether or not I see anything else from it, I know when this drops, I'm more intrigued to watch this than I am the new Anthony Mackie Wire movie. Like this looks good. I'm gonna force myself to watch that movie, but I wouldn't have to force myself to watch Bliss. So I'm excited for Bliss. The next trailer we have is a new Studio Ghibli film, Earwig and the Witch, an anime thing. So I thought it looked cool. Good for Studio
CGI
Ghibli.
for Studio Ghibli.
I know, but like if anybody, I'll trust them. So but that's not really my cup of tea. But I'll watch it because it's Studio Ghibli. But I do not like the animation, but I'll give them a shot, because it's
like Sabrina the Teenage Witch meets Matilda. Like it's interesting.
It's that weird Studio Ghibli vibe. But the best trailer I saw was Malcolm and frickin' Marie. Yo, JD Dubs, my boy. I told y'all when we did our actors that we're most excited for, JD Dubs, not only did he just drop one of the best action movies I've seen in a while in Tenet, and now it's about to come show you that he can act with like his own version of Marriage Story, because that's what I'm calling this. It's his version of Marriage Story, and I think it's gonna work. And I think it's gonna work hella well for Zendaya too, coming off her Emmy win. both look incredible in it, and I'm super excited to see this. Like, if it get at first I was like, is this about to be horror? But then it's just like, no, that's just the tension of their relationship, and it's like, ooh.
What it reminds me of, actually, based upon like the overallness of the film, is a Lighthouse.
Love
Black
story,
and white.
Yeah, I feel that.
Black and white, two people just acting.
Yeah, I'm excited for this. So I think this could be very big for both of their careers, and I'm pretty sure Netflix is going to want this in the Oscar race. I mean, I don't see why not. So we shall see. Yeah. But I'm watching that. That's probably something we'll review on this show because that actually looks pretty damn good. But
we're about to talk about it here in a minute. But this is part of Netflix 71 original films that they're releasing this year, and they definitely wanted to hit. I feel like this is definitely a good one to.
This is one that they want
to get behind for sure.
Yeah. Because they spent a lot of money on this.
Yeah, they did. And, a lot of big names, JDW, Zendaya, Sam Levinson, you got to show that you're going to, when you give them the platform, they're going to produce.
Yep. So, much. And this, like you said, this could be big for Netflix, part of their 71 original films. And this is something that, not to jump the gun on our interview, but it's interesting of the conversation that we had with our interview, you guys will see, but Netflix is gearing themselves as a place for independent film. And if this works, this will be huge for them. Y'all will understand what that means, what I just said when you hear the interview. But I think this is something big for filmmakers and creators going forward if this works.
Especially in this time.
100%. And then you had the cherry teaser on there, but the full one's dropping today when you guys hear this.
The full one will have already dropped when you guys are hearing this. So I won't talk too much about it. It was just a little blurb of him walking into a Army recruiter's office, and we do know from talking about it is that he is an Army medic with PSD who becomes addicted to opioids and starts robbing banks.
Yep.
So this is kind of like probably the opening scene.
This could be good for Tom Holland's career if it's good.
Yeah. And also Sierra Bravo's in this, and I love Sierra Bravo. Like, she was on that show Big Time Rush on Nickelodeon, and she has come so far from that.
A lot of these Knicks kids are growing up, man. Like the Wolves are killing it.
That's very true. The Wolves are killing it.
Fuck with the Wolves.
But, shout out to Ned Sierra Bravo was recently on Wayne, that show on Amazon that I really love. So I'm glad that she's going to be in this big movie with Tom Holland. So I'm excited for it.
Hell yeah. All right. What we got next? Speaking on those 71 original films.
Yeah, so the 71 original films, they released Netflix released on their Twitter like a little trailer. And in that trailer, they highlighted some of the titles, including the film Red Notice, which is going to star Gal Gadot, The Rock, Ryan Reynolds. It's a heist film. It's
the fucking action curse of Netflix. Netflix thinks they can just get any big actor and be like, yeah, bro, we got an action movie for you. The Rock, Gal Gadot, Ryan Reynolds, we got one for you. The Ryan Reynolds is doubling back from Six Underground, trash, fucking Old Guard. And don't get me, was the Chris Hemsworth thing? Was that Extraction 2? Was that Extraction 2? Was that what that was? Where he was driving the fucking boat?
No. So Red Notice. The Western, The Harder They Fall, with Regina King, Idris Elba, and Jonathan Majors.
Let me say this. Yeah, I was about to say I talked a little shit on it when we first heard about it because I thought it was going to be in present day, and it wouldn't have been about like guns and actually being a Western. But this looks like it's actually going to be a Western, so I'm hyped for this. And like, this looks good. Shout out to Regina King. Shout out to Idris Elba. Shout out to Jonathan Majors. I think this is going to be hype.
Well, I don't think Regina King is about to put her name on anything that's trash.
True, and that's my fault. I should add more faith in my top actress in Hollywood, her and Amy Adams. I stand behind those two women. They're great.
Speaking of Amy Adams, Women in the Window is another one of these Netflix animated film or not animated.
I know you films. I know you didn't watch this, but it gave me vibes of the Alfred Hitchcock film. How am I missing the name? With Jimmy Stewart, where he's just taking the camp. Is it? Oh my gosh, this is gonna bug me. I'm gonna look up the name of it, but it gives me those vibes. It's not Vertigo. Hold on, I'm gonna tell you. Give me 1 second. Jimmy Stewart, Jimmy Stewart movies. Here we go. Rear Window. It gave me big Rear Window vibes. It looks like Amy Adams is gonna be in that apartment the whole time, and if that's the case, I'm down for that because Rear Window was great, and I love Amy Adams, and if she's gonna give her take on that, I'm down for that.
Yeah, the whole bit of Women in the Window, we've talked about it before, is that she is like a homebody who doesn't like to leave her apartment, but she witnesses a murder across the street or something.
That's Rear Window. Like that's 100% Rear Window.
Oh, okay, well there you go.
Yeah, so I'm hyped for that. Hell yeah.
Bringing it to a new audience. Zack Snyder's The Army of the Dead with Dave Bautista. Another one of these action movies is probably gonna be trash.
Funny enough. I'm with you with Netflix action. You know how we feel about that. But am I buying the Zack Snyder Kool-Aid where I kind of believe in this? Like, because it's him, and when he does like stuff like this, it's usually decent to good. I don't know. But then like seeing the guy next to Dave Bautista going, I was just like, I don't know if I'm fucking with this. So like, I'm 50-50 digging it. But like, then that dude was doing that. And I'm like, oh. So I don't know. I don't know on that one.
We'll see. Lin-Manuel Miranda's directorial debut, Tick, Tick, Boom.
That's starring, gonna be
good. Andrew Garfield.
That's going to be
a musical.
Yeah.
Don't Look Up, which we've talked about on the podcast before. J-Law, Leo, Ariana Grande, Timothy Chalamet, Kid Cudi, and Meryl Streep.
I'm hyped for this one. I just saw Leo with a brown beard and J-Law with like a eye ring, and I'm like, what is my guy Leo doing? But like, hey, I'm watching. We getting a Leo movie
by the end of the world.
We're getting a Leo movie and a Denzel movie in 2021. Let's go, man. Let's go. I'm hyped for movies this year.
And the slate also included some features, the culmination of their homegrown top-rated franchise, To All the Boys I've Loved Before, which also had a trailer come out. I think that's releasing at the end of the month or next week. Yeah, Santino. And
I don't know that one, but I know that I will watch that just because I've already watched 1 and 2 with my girlfriend. I gotta know. Look, I'm not gonna even hate. I enjoyed the experience of watching The Kissing Booth with my girlfriend. I'm not going to even hate.
To All the Boys I've Loved Before with my girlfriend.
Did you like that one?
I like the first one. I don't know. I haven't seen the second one. I'm
into the Kissing Booth drama because it's just Joey King breaking up with her mans, getting a new mans. And I'm into it. I'm in it. And see, this goes back to my point of why I don't like
movie.
Probably is. But this goes back to my point on why I don't like romantic anime. And I'm not going to go too long into that. But it's just like, if I'm going to watch some romance stuff, I might as well watch Kissing Booth with Joey King instead of watching some animated people do the same thing. That's all. You can go watch Anime Talk to finish hearing that rant on that. But I digress. I'm hyped for 3. I'm going to watch 3. What else we got?
They released a full list, but it's not worth mentioning all the titles because we don't know all of their information. But some that we know from the Netflix trailer include Thunder Force, a comedy with Melissa McCarthy and Octavia Spencer as superheroes. Bruised, a UFC movie directed by Halle Berry and starring Halle Berry.
That's the one I'm interested in. Just because, like, okay, Halle, I'm gonna see what you got. It looked like if she does it right, that could be good.
Yeah, it could be like the next fighter,
Southpaw fighter.
Southpaw. Yeah. And the Thunder Force comedy, I don't know. I'm kind of played out on Melissa McCarthy comedies at this point. I'm sorry.
I'm with you. That's why I didn't say anything. I jumped to the UFC. I was keeping it pushing.
Escape from Spiderhead is a thriller with Chris Hemsworth and Miles Teller. That's what you were referring to earlier.
Gosh, within the boat.
I believe it's going to be less action, more thriller. So
hopefully it's good because of Miles Teller. I'm a big Teller fan. Chris, I
haven't seen him in anything in a while.
It's been a minute, so I'm excited to see what Teller's bringing because, like, he should be. He auditioned for the Elvis thing. He didn't get it, but like a lot of the things he's been auditioned for have been big like titles. He's just been losing to like Butler and Chalamet and shit like that.
Yeah, which is interesting. I mean, because he was in one of the best films of last decade, Whiplash.
He was, and that's why I'm saying he's going for these big roles. So I'm guessing he's trying to get some more clout up.
And what was the other really good movie he was in?
He was in that War Dogs with
War Dogs.
That was like really good with my boy fucking Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill. Yeah. Funny thing about Jonah Hill, now that we're mentioning him, when I watched that Netflix show about the curse words, where he's the guy who's dropping the most F-bombs in movies.
He is. That's fucking hilarious. That's kind of unbelievable when you think of Joe Pesci and Robert De Niro.
Oh yeah, but apparently in Wolf of Wall Street, he dropped like something like 100 f
Oh
bombs.
shit! But if you count Wolf of Wall Street and Superbad, then yeah, I could see it.
Yeah.
I could see it. Okay, that's believable. What they also
Uh,
have some other ones too. I think like a couple more. I'm
yeah,
interested in the action movie with Jason Momoa. That's Sweet Girl, huh?
Sweet Girl. Yeah, Sweet Girl is the action movie with Jason Momoa. Then there's Bad Trip, which is a comedy with Eric Andre.
I'm gonna watch that.
Yeah. Kate, which is an action movie with Woody Harrelson.
I'm gonna watch it.
And then, of course, Malcolm and Marie.
Nice. Okay. So shout out to Netflix, man. I hope this works. The Schubert said the film for this week is The Wire, which is the Jamie Foxx movie. I'll try to watch it.
Anthony Mackie.
Anthony Mackie. Sorry. Anthony Mackie and my boy from Snowfall. So I'm gonna try to watch it before we come back next week and let y'all know what's up with it. But we shall see.
I might watch it.
Yeah, I just heard it wasn't good, and you know me with Netflix.
I don't know if it's good. We'll full review it, but if not, then I will just mention it.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna check it out. But next up, we got Rami Malek. I'm loving Rami Malek's decisions. This goes back to that Ryan Gosling point of get a better agent. But I digress. Rami Malek and Zoe Saldana have been added to the ensemble cast of David O. Russell's untitled new Regency film, joining Christian Bale, Margot Robbie, and J.D. Dubs, John David Washington. Look, the last David O. Russell film I think I saw was American Hustle was the last one, and him and Christian Bale did a damn good job with that. So I'm hyped for this.
Yeah, last David O. Russell film I saw was.
Let's see.
Did I see Joy?
No, but I didn't see Joy. Just as a director.
He was a director.
Yeah, he's the director of Joy. Yeah, I didn't see that one or Accidental Love. I saw American Hustle and Silver Lining Playbook in The Fighter. So yeah, the last one I saw was American Hustle. So I'm excited for this. Good to see some more David O. Russell content, and he works.
But look at Rami Malek. He's with Denzel and John David.
He's loving the Washington family and Christian Bale. I'm digging this. Let's go. What a great choice for him. And he has the fucking James Bond movie in the tuck in his back pocket, just waiting. Rami Malek might have a big 2021. I'm just saying he might have a big one this year. So
you are right.
Look out for him with that. But next up, first look at Sylvester Stallone's superhero thriller, Samaritan. Is it a superhero movie? I guess it is. Well, Samaritan follows a young boy, Javon Walton, who discovers that a legendary superhero went missing 20 years earlier in his neighborhood. Also featuring the cast of Martin Starr, Pilu Asbeck, Dasha Polanco, and Moises Arias. Wait, Schubert, I don't know if I watched this trailer. I thought
it's not a trailer.
Oh, it's not oh, wait. There's another.
It's a picture.
Funny enough, there's another Sylvester Stallone movie called Samaritan, and I watched the trailer for that, and it's just a bank robbing thing. So when I was like, wait, what's going on here? But all right, good for Sly Stallone. This might be good, Yeah,
Javon Walton, he's that kid that was hanging out with the homie in Euphoria.
Oh, okay. I'm Googling him right now. Yeah, he's the little boy that hangs out with our guy, Angus Cloud.
Yes.
Okay.
Angus Cloud.
Shout out to Angus. Still trying to get you to come on the pod. That will happen soon enough. But also they got Moises Arias. Look, these Disney shit. Back to what we were saying earlier in the show. These Disney and Nick kids coming out of their shell. We'll see what he has. But all right, this sounds interesting.
Yeah, it does sound interesting. So we'll definitely see what this is all about when it gets closer to coming out. But superhero thriller, I like that we're getting new superhero takes in this superhero era film. I really thought that Brightburn was a good move on like seeing what we could do within the superhero genre, and now we're getting some like actual R-rated DC MCU films. So I think we're starting to expand what we can do with superhero films. And I think even Glass really kind of brought us back.
And the boys. You got to give some of the.
Well, I'm talking about movies.
Just movies in general. I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no, 100%. So, and then you get that Jamie Foxx power, the pill thing. That's another thing. Yeah,
Project Power.
Yeah. So
that's Netflix though. But anyway, Alan S. Kim, the 7-year-old breakout star of Minari, which I really want to see, is joining forces with 8th grade actor Elsie Fisher for the new film Latchkey Kids. In Latchkey Kids, Kim will play a bright 9-year-old who befriends an eccentric teenager, Fisher, who's also looking to escape a dysfunctional life and mother. The pair faces a considerable obstacle. Local enforcement believes Kim's character might be offing his babysitters. The film will be directed by John J. Budion, whose last pick was the acclaimed Rockaway, which is actually very similar to the plot of this, where it had two kids who were trying to take down like their abusive father. So he definitely knows how to work with young kids in a way that is a little bit more seriously toned. And we've seen with Alan S. Kim and what he is doing with Minari and getting all the critical acclaim. And with Elsie Fisher at 8th grade, these kids are really big time actors that are on the come up. So this could be a really great movie.
Hell yeah. Look excited to see what they present. But next up, we got Netflix is giving a series order to The Lincoln Lawyer, a drama based on the Michael Connelly series of the best-selling novels from Big Little Lies to Big Sky creator David E. Kelley and A&E Studios. Oh, so it's from the Big Little Lies creator David E. Kelley and A&E Studios. They're making it. Interesting.
And it's going to be on FX.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Wait. It's gonna be on it. I thought it was gonna be Netflix.
No, my bad. That's a later one. That's a later one. Yeah, it's Netflix.
It's gonna be on Netflix. Yeah. So interesting enough, I'm a big fan of the Matthew McConaughey Lincoln Lawyer movie. I enjoyed it a lot. So, and what the Big Little Lies creator and Big Sky creator David E. Kelley has been doing, I'm interested to see this. I think the key to this though will be who's gonna be in the Matthew McConaughey role, who's going to be the lead character. I think that's going to be key to determining the success of that, because the reason why I love the movie so much was because of Matthew McConaughey's charisma and me believing what he did as a lawyer, and that made it great. Not so much the storytelling, more so the storytelling was great, but it was more so how Matthew McConaughey presented that storytelling. So that's what I think is going to be key to this. And it could be a chance for a young actor to, get a big series.
That's what I'm thinking. I think it's going to be someone who isn't a huge name that would be taking this role. But I assume that we will get some people who are a little bit more well-known to other parts. But, I never really got to see the movie, which I heard is really good.
It is. But it's definitely worth checking out. I think it's on Amazon right now.
All right. Well, I'll have to check it out. But I think that Netflix taking this IP, it could really be beneficial for them. The one thing we haven't been talking about since we've talked about their 71 original films is that they are throwing out new series, and some of them are hitting. And we'll talk about. Well, I didn't put it in my movie on the rise, but like they're bringing Disenchantment back this week, and they also have a new original that's coming out this week. And Bridgerton had a lot of success.
My cousin keeps telling me about freaking Bridgerton, bro. He's like, yo, you gotta watch it. It's good. Shout out Lil Reg, but I'm not watching Bridgerton, bro.
Lil Reg likes Bridgerton. Bridgerton's fire, bro.
Lil Reg is a big fan of Bridgerton, bro. Like he is a Shonda Rhimes stan. So like, he loves Bridgerton, but that's another one of those Netflix things that's hidden. But next up, The Haunting of the Hill director Mike Flanagan is interested in making a DC horror movie about Batman's villain Clayface. I think it could work in the sense of doing it like Joker, where it has nothing to do with Batman, but just taking the idea and concept of Clayface. I think it could work since DC's doing these like one-off things. I think it could be big for them.
Reading more into like what he was talking about and what he's been thinking about pitching, and it is going way more in depth on like the idea of who Clayface is and
this actor who's like
and the difficulty it is to be Clayface.
Yeah, no, I think it could work. And just seeing all the different faces in his head and being this actor and always having to like think he loves the idea of portraying to be someone else, but then he forgets who he is and he hates that. Yeah, no, I think it could be very good if done right. So and the House on the Haunting Hill is like people are fucking with that shit right now. So we'll see if DC does that, but I feel DC's on the path to somewhere else right now, not necessarily that.
But I do feel like if you're talking about putting on originals on HBO Max,
that could be
that's what I'm saying. Like this could be something that they could really consider to just taking a stab at. Like if you're not thinking about using Clayface in any of your other properties, like why not let this guy make his take and see how it goes on HBO Max?
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all.
So a limited series about the infamous punk band, the Sex Pistols, has been ordered at FX. The 6-episode series is based on Steve Jones' 2018 memoir, Lonely Boy, Tales from a Sex Pistol. Academy Award winner Danny Boyle will direct and executive produce the series. Baby Teeth actor Toby Wallace stars as Jones, while Game of Thrones star Maisie Williams has joined the cast as punk icon Jordan. Other cast includes Anson Boone as John Lydon, Louis Partridge from Enola Holmes as Sid Vicious, Jacob Slater as Paul Cook, Fabian Frankel as Glenn Matlock, Dylan Llewellyn as Wally Nightingale, Sydney Chandler, as Chrissy Hind, and Emma Appleton as Nancy Spungen. So FX coming out with another drama, and adding Maisie Williams definitely is going to excite some people.
Yeah, that should be something that people should look forward to. I'm excited for that, and it's about the based on the Sex Pistols tale from the Sex Pistols. I am down. Like, let's go, Maisie Williams. Look at you getting something like growing up on us. I see it. I'm down. Let's see it. Let's see what type of actress she is, and this is something that could like boost her up.
Yeah, Maisie Williams post Game of Thrones, I've really enjoyed what she's been doing. I thought she shined in New Mutants, even though New Mutants was a meh film.
To me, it was her and Anya
Taylor-Joy. Yeah.
Those were the two best parts of that movie.
Which makes sense because they're two of the better people that come out of that movie.
Exactly. Your boy from Stranger Things was not one of them.
No. And then Maisie Williams' HBO Max series I really enjoy right now as well. So.
Yep.
I'm excited to see what she's going to do as the punk icon Jordan. And then the last story we have, not too much known about this, but Raimi star May Calamwai has reportedly joined the DC Plus series or Disney Plus series Moon Knight.
Nice.
In an undisclosed role.
Some new Moon Knight news.
She's a Middle Eastern actor, and we know that Moon Knight is going to take some things from what. Like Egypt, isn't he have like some
he has
ties to Egypt?
He definitely has ties to Egypt and the Middle East. That's a fact.
So that it only makes sense.
Oh, I just found something good for my movie on the rise. I'm excited, and I'm surprised you missed out on this. And this is something you would have definitely take. Okay, I got something good.
All right. Well, my movie on the rise this week is WandaVision.
Oh, wait. Let me tell people what to say. Movie on the Rise. This is a segment of the show where we give you something new to watch this week when you hear this. That's either movies or TV that will be coming out between now and the next time we do a show. So that's what Movie on the Rise is. So yeah, back to you, Schubert. What you got for us?
Yeah, WandaVision is mine. I guess I would throw in Outside the Wire as well. That's the only things I really knew that were coming out this weekend.
One thing that you forgot, and it's something that me and you both are hype on, this Friday, instead of watching Outside the Wire, you should watch on Amazon Prime One Night in Miami, the Regina King movie, where the Jim Brown, Muhammad Ali, Malcolm X, and Sam Cooke are all in Miami for the one night. I think that's going to be a great movie.
Yeah, I definitely want to see the runtime of that. Because I think
that's something we can maybe talk about next week, depending on whichever one's good. Outside the Wire, this one of them's getting talked about.
I can tell you which one's going to be good, right?
Same. Oh, man.
And it's not Outside the Wire.
It is not. Oh, shit. But I am hyped for WandaVision. Chatter keeps coming that this is going to be good, but I did hear maybe we should lower our expectations for the first episode because
that's what I was thinking.
Because it may just be sitcom-y. So
I was thinking that it's going to be more of an introduction here, and like we're not really going to get into the meat of like what the series like really is going to be. Yeah. So I'll take it because like I definitely want some Marvel content because we haven't had it since like 2019.
I know I'm kind of itching for it. Like, and I was kind of Marvel out in 2019, but like now I'm like, I need some Marvel in my life.
Well, I've been clamoring for Black Widow since like March, and like I was really excited to see that movie. So like that's the thing. Like we were marveled out, but there was definitely some titles that we were excited to see, and having WandaVision come out and knowing what we know it could lead to definitely makes me excited. So maybe not this first week, but it's going to get better.
And depending on how good it is, we may bring back our reactions on Twitch Friday nights. Just maybe. We'll see.
Maybe.
Depending on if it's fire. If it's not, then who knows? But Outside the Wire, One Night in Miami, and WandaVision, those are the things that you guys should be watching this week. So with that being said.
Yeah. So next up, we have our interview with Andres Ace Cabrera. And Lyndon, I'll throw it over to you right now.
All right, Bros Who Binge fan base, we have a very, very special guest on this week's podcast. We haven't had an interview in a minute, but I am excited that this is the first interview to start off 2021 like this. We have Andres Cabrera, the host of the Meaning of podcast with the First Cut. Is it First Cut Media?
First Cut Studios.
Okay, cool. He's a Schmodown competitor with SEN. You've seen him on Collider. You've seen him on the SEN network. I'm super excited to have Andres joining me and Schubert today. How are you doing, sir?
Good, man. Good. I don't know if you're allowed to say when we're recording this, but Suns are currently
say whatever. Yeah,
winning.
Bro, that's all good.
So I'm happy. I'm having a pretty decent 2021, literally just based off the Suns' performances these past few games.
Look, I told you off air, but I gotta say it on air because I'm serious. Y'all, I wouldn't be surprised if y'all make I didn't say this, but I wouldn't be surprised if y'all make the Western Conference Finals against LA. That's
my goal. Literally, my goal is I want to face the Lakers. Give me the Lakers. That's who I want to beat. Like, I don't care about any other team. I don't care if we win like against Philly or Indiana or Milwaukee. Give me like top dog, which is like LeBron and AD. That's like my expectations for the Suns this year. Everyone else is like, number 5 or 6 or just make the playoffs. But I always I just want to beat the Lakers, man. I live in LA, so I see Lakers fans like face to face, and it's awful and it's annoying, and I always want to destroy them. So this is my redemption where I get to be like, dude, we finally have you again, and we can be the Suns that beat the Lakers. So
I pray y'all beat them because if you know, because we told you we're Pelicans fans, I cannot stand the Lakers for the AD debacle.
I hate the Lakers.
Hate
yeah, you must hate them even more. Yeah. AD just being like, that's all, folks.
Yeah, bro, didn't even write a letter to the city. Still hasn't. We have other people have left and wrote letters. He still hasn't given us anything. But I don't care. We got Zion. Better off. Moved on from that. But
greener pastures.
But I definitely think your son's team is good because look, when you add Chris Paul to a Thunder team and they make the playoffs with way less talent than Devin Booker, Ayton, Miles Bridges, like that team went 15-0 or like 8-0 in the bubble for a reason. Because like y'all are deep, y'all have great young talent, and the young talent that y'all have with Devin Booker, he's on the cuff of All-Star. Then DeAndre Ayton's on the cuff of being a great big man, and then you have Miles Bridges. I mean, not Mikal Bridges, who I'm not really sure what he is. Some days we have flashes of greatness. To me, his floor is a solid starter. His ceiling is question mark.
I think he can be the best 3-and-D guy in the league, man. I really do. I'm so high on Mikal. He's on my fantasy team. I have a fantasy basketball team.
Nice.
I have Mikal Bridges. I think that guy is like elite defender. Like he's gonna be like one of the best top 5 3-and-D guys in the league, and that's saying a lot considering that we have like a jillion 3-and-D guys in the league. But his 3-pointer is deadly, and his defense his length is like. He's
that's
like freaking
killer.
Fantastic. Like his arms just reaching out. I think that guy's incredible. I actually I think those two guys, I think Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Dario, if he plays well, can be our like support. Booker scores a good 25 a game, doesn't have to go off. And then Ayton gets a little better and better each game. That's how you make a championship team. Because I feel like if we put too much on Booker where he's scoring 35 a game, it won't be sustainable. But if we do get the bench to start scoring more, if we get Campaign involved, Mikal involved, that's how we're going to win more games, which is what we've been doing so far. Like Booker's like playing decent. Like he's not even playing like all-star MVP level yet.
He hasn't gone explosion for 30 plus 50, 40 point Booker yet. And that's a good thing because if you can save him, keep Chris Paul at like 15 to 20. Let's not have the magical Chris Paul games yet. Keep him low, but keep the assists high and then have Ayton be between 18 and 20. That's kind of where y'all want to be for the season. And then when the playoffs start, that's when we start seeing Chris Paul magic.
Yeah, because then we can save the minutes and we have playing the bench players. And at the same time, we're getting wins, right? Because if we're getting losses, that's why it's like, all right, maybe we should start playing our starters a little bit
pushing
more.
The envelope,
But the fact that we're getting, I think we're like number 2 in the West or 3 in the West. So
y'all were 1 like a couple days ago before the Clippers and Lakers won. Yeah, y'all are like 2 or 3 around there. Y'all like Y'all the real deal, man. But this is a movie pod. I digress for all the sports. I just can't help myself. I'm an NBA stan. Grew up.
Well, I mean, we do Bros Who Ball. It's a good opportunity to promote that.
That's a fact. Yeah, y'all check out the Bros Who Think podcast, our segment Bros Who Ball, 100%. But with that being said, let's get into some movie stuff because you are a movie fan just like us. I want to ask you, our first question is, how did you get into the industry of being a podcaster, working with all these things, and being a writer? Because you write for Geeks of Color as well.
Yeah, so I moved out to LA, man, this is crazy. I feel like an old man. 2014, so September of 2014, or late August of 2014, I moved out to LA. I got a gig before I moved out there, actually, because this is my thing. So my brother is here in LA, and he is a film director. He does short films, he does music videos, and he does commercials. So it's mainly that kind of work he does. He does a little bit of short films, which is his main bread and butter. Eventually, obviously, he wants to do feature film directing, which is actually extremely hard to do. If you guys see the background of like a director coming up, it's like one of the hardest things you can do. So my brother had a buddy who had a gig coming up in LA, and I just graduated college in 2014 from Arizona State. Shout out to ASU, go Devils. And then from there, I literally graduated college that summer, end of August. My brother calls me up and he's like, hey man, my buddy has a gig. Do you want to do this LA thing and come out here and try the whole film route like I'm doing? Because my brother was doing that currently at 2014. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. I moved out there, became a PA, which if you guys know anything about a full-time PA, it's like the grind. It is literally like 13, 14-hour days, nonstop. Yeesh. First one in, last one out, treated like crap by like a bunch of people who think they're super smart. It really is the grind. And then from there, obviously, we got the opportunity to start pitching our writing, to literally pitch writing creatively, writing copy, writing press releases, whatever it was that we wanted to write. And that was my way to be like, hey, I can write. Can I be promoted, please, and make more money? And at the same time, get my writing out there. And then that production company, I was able to be one of the writers there and eventually associate producer and produce one of the shows there they have. So that's how I started, man. And I became a producer there. And then I got in contact with the Schmoes when I met him at Los Angeles Comic-Con. It was actually LA Comic-Con 2014. That I met him there, and I literally just told him everything I just told you. I said, hey, I just moved out to LA. I'm a PA. I write. If you guys ever need any help, let me know. I've been watching Schmoes for like 3 years, I think, by that point. So like by 2011, I've been watching Schmoes. And then from there, I became an intern there, and then got a podcast with my buddy RB3, who used to be on SEN. You guys have seen him if you watch SEN. And the rest is history, man. Still trying to make it, trying to do the thing. Yeah.
Feel that. Shout out RB3 too, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. RB3 is great, man.
Yeah. What about the podcast with RB3? What do you guys like to talk about? What's some of the stuff you like to write with Geeks of Color?
Yeah, so for Geeks of Color, I was just telling you guys, I do anime reviews a lot. They give me a lot of anime stuff because I think I'm the only one on the staff that watches anime. So I got to see a lot of anime this year. So I do that for them. A couple sci-fi movies because I love sci-fi. With RB3, we love talking indie movies a lot, man. Like as much as like the major channels like Nerdist and Screen Junkies and Schmoes loved like the giant Marvel movies and DC. I love those movies too, but RB3 and I really like talking like small, quiet indie movies. So that's kind of how we started out. We started talking about that more than anything else. And then eventually we start talking about directors, talking about different themes in movies, talking about different commentary in movies. And then from there, we got in contact with a friend of his whose name is Sabrina. And then she came on the show last year, which was 2019, I believe, like November 2019. And then she came on the show. And now officially, this is kind of breaking news. We just officially now launched our Patreon.
Nice. I'll drop some air horns.
Yeah. So we officially have our Patreon account. Going to be posting even more live stream, even more content, some video essays. We want to get extra nerdy when it comes to film, because that's kind of our bread and butter, and that's kind of what we love when we watch YouTube channels and stuff. So that's kind of what we want to be as well. So yeah, I love being a part of it, and I love being a part of that team.
Most recently on our podcast last week, actually, we had a conversation about perfect movies, and we're talking about like the National Film Registry and stuff like that. I want to know from you, what do you think constitutes a perfect movie, and what some movies that you would consider perfect?
Ooh, this is great. I love
And to give you some help with that, we had like different categories that we broke it down into, to where we were like, okay, like for example, like writing, cinematography, and like just certain different things that we had as our qualifiers for perfect movies. Like I had different ones than him. So what are some of your qualifiers, just to piggyback on his question?
Yeah, right. Because that's what filmmaking is, right? I mean, when you come out here in LA and you realize like filmmaking is everything coming together, and that's what a director does, really. Mainly a director works with the actors, but a director really makes sure that the sound is top notch, the music is top notch, the cinematography is top notch, and then the team just kind of comes together and makes it in the edit, which again goes to the editing being top notch. But I feel like a perfect movie is going through the story on a ride, right? Because I think that's what a movie should be. It should be a ride where we go up and down and all around, and wherever the story filmmaker wants to take us, if we end up on there and if we end up feeling what he wants us to feel, I think that's a perfect movie. I just saw Citizen Kane for the first time a couple months ago, and I never seen that, to be honest. And I know that's like one of the movies that everyone's like, oh, you should watch it. It's a perfect movie. It's one of the best movies ever. It kind of is. I got to be honest. It really is one of the best movies ever, even though it's like 1940. It's an ancient movie. But yeah, a perfect movie, man. There's been so many great movies over these past 10 years. I think this has been I think it's even a better decade in films than the 2000s through the 2010s, where if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I feel like 2010 through 2020 has better movies than 2000 to 2010, if that makes sense.
No, I feel that.
No,
and I even say that if you take the 2000s as a whole, I kind of like the 2000s movies more than some of the movies in the 90s, like from like 90 to 99. Like I just think what we have in this 2000s decade has just been some different storytellings from different storytellers, different kinds of storytellers, men, women, different races. And I just feel like that has given us such an influx of just stories we don't always see, and just it forces people to tell, I don't want to say better stories, but we just get the best stories from all different people.
Yeah, that's exactly it, right? Because I feel like when it comes to the different decades, most of it is trends, right? I mean, obviously this decade has been trends too, but it's like extra trendy. The 80s is like 80s. Like every 80s movie is like pretty much the same. No offense to any 80s movies, but they're all pretty much the same. 90s movies are super 90s. Versus like when you start to get to the 2000s, you see a little bit more variety. You see a little bit more different takes, different perspectives on filmmaking. And that's amplified once you hit like 2012, 2013, 2014, I think is one of the best years in film, which is the year I moved out to LA. And I saw like dozens of films out there. So a perfect movie, I kind of want to steal your guys' whatever it is, but I did my top 10 of the decade. A couple, like about a year ago, actually, because that's when the decade ended. I said, I still think my best movie of the year, the best movie of the decade, and the perfect movie, even though it's a tiny short movie, it got a couple Oscar nominations. It was really hyped up, but to be honest, I think it's worthy of the hype. I've watched it so many times with different people from different backgrounds, and that's Get Out. I think Get Out's a perfect movie. I watched it with my parents who are from a different generation, my brother, my other brother, my brother who's not a filmmaker and who just watches like maybe 2 movies a year. I've watched it with film fans, with non-film fans, with my Mexican homies, my non-Mexican homies. Like that's a movie that I feel like is a perfect movie. So that's usually my go-to when it comes to like the best of the decade and a perfect movie that I've seen recently. But there's a lot, man. I mean, there's Alien is one I think is a perfect movie.
Nice.
It's one of my all-time favorite movies. I think Gladiator is a perfect movie. I mean, you're noticing the Ridley Scott bias right there.
See, I love it though. I love it.
Ridley Scott's my favorite filmmaker. So
nice. Yeah. And I also love how you said 3 different movies that neither of us said. Like both of us had our list, and I love that you said those movies because they are perfect. Like I went just thinking about it. I'm so upset that I forgot Gladiator because I love Gladiator, and everything you said about Get Out is true. And seeing Jordan Peele go from comedy to be this I can say it, iconic filmmaker. It's just an amazing journey. I want to ask you before we get to like some of the other stuff, being that you were talking about trends, and one of the major trends from about 2008 to now has been superhero movies, and that has been a topic of conversation, whether superhero movies are destroying film or whether there's too much. And I'm on the line of, as you can see from my shirt, I give me more, but I think there's a place for the non-superhero movies just as much as there's a place for both. I don't think we have to choose. So I want to ask you, how do you feel about Marvel and DC both, about the superhero boom? And if you have a favorite superhero, who would that be?
Man, this is such a complex question because we've literally done like maybe 15 episodes just on this topic, RB3 and I, on First Cut, where we've like passionately debated this. Here's the issue, man. Maybe because we have that proximity effect when we're in LA, so we see how things are made. But the problem with superhero movies, and I love superhero movies. I rewatch that more than almost any other movie. So this is coming from someone who's like the biggest MCU, DCEU fan there is. The problem is, what happens is that it becomes centralized, right? So this is what happened last year, for example. Last year's a perfect example with Endgame. Endgame is the biggest movie of all time. The problem is everyone went to the movie theater to see one movie, and that was Endgame. No one else went to see anything else. So what I mean by centralized is that less people are going to the movies because more people are going to see one or two films, which is usually a superhero film. What happens with that is that the movie theaters start to lose money, and that the smaller movies get less and less money, means that the smaller movies don't get funding, which means that smaller movies don't get made. And that's been happening, obviously, now with 2020 and the coronavirus and quarantine. Now small movies barely even get made at all, and we don't even have any barely this year. Most of them are through screeners, or most of them are like on Amazon Prime or something, and no one's watching that. So the problem with superhero movies is not necessarily that they're bad or anything like that. It's just that everyone goes to see just one or two of those, and that's it. And what it does is it limits the audience's variety of films and how many films they go watch. And that actually happens. And it's been happening obviously over the past 5 years, but especially last year with 2019, 8 of the top 10 movies domestically of last year were Disney, which means only one studio is making money. All the money. And the problem with that is that one studio makes one type of movie. They make 4 quadrant films. It's a Disney film, right? So it's Star Wars, it's Marvel,
Pixar, and Disney.
It's Aladdin. Aladdin made a ton of money. Like those kind of films make a ton of money, but you don't get the Get Outs. You don't get the Nightcrawlers. You don't get the Ex Machinas. You don't get like those cool indie movies that we've gotten like a little bit further back in the early 2010s. So
100%. Wait, because I know Schubert was next, but just to piggyback off that, do you think that the rise of streaming and the influx of streaming helps with that? Because I agree with you about seeing we don't get some of these indie movies, but I do feel just from hearing some of the comments of people who are running these streamings, that's kind of, and I know we lose the love of going to the movie to see some of these, but I think filmmakers and creatives can use the streaming to get some of their stories told that they might not have gotten from these big budget films and being inside of a movie theater.
Literally another topic that we talk about a lot on First Cut. RB3 always brings up that point whenever I bring up what I'm saying. He always says, hey, man, but we have streaming. Like we have Netflix, we have Hulu, we have HBO Max, we have stuff that, these filmmakers that are indie filmmakers are now going to streaming. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. The problem is that necessarily the best thing? Like we're only watching these tiny movies on our laptop or on our TV. We don't get to see that on the big screen anymore.
That's true.
And in about maybe 10 to 15 years, I really do feel like we're going to see a future where we don't get any independent small film in theaters at all. We only get it on streaming. We only get it on Netflix or on Hulu or on HBO Max. And that's kind of sad, like especially me who just said Get Out was my favorite film of the decade. Part of the reason why I loved it so much was because I did see it in a theater and with an audience that really loved it. Same with Whiplash, same with other movies that are really small. Seeing it in a theater is a major difference. So is it really the best thing that all these little movies are on streaming and all the big movies are in theaters? It's debatable, right? Because you could say it is a good or it isn't good. So
that is true. And just to piggyback off that, I know I'm sorry, Schubert. He's just bringing up these great points.
She is.
Something like Palm Springs, I would have never thought about seeing in theaters. But the fact that it was at my house, I get to see this amazing film that really was one of my favorite comedies of the last year.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. Like a lot of people get to see these movies now. That's what RB3 keeps telling me too. He's like, hey man, but this is a thing. Not everyone has the money to go see these movies anyway, right?
That's true too.
It's not like a lot of people are going to pay money to see indie movies in their local theater because a lot of these local theaters don't even play these movies. So it's better to have them on streaming than not to have them at all. And that's a really good point too, because not everyone is me. Not everyone goes to the ArcLight and watches like tiny movies for $20 a pop, because that's a lot of money and not everyone gets to do that. So it's an absolutely fair point. A lot of people are watching more movies on Netflix than ever before, and they're watching more movies in general because of Netflix. So,
and that's the thing, because like my small theater doesn't play. Like it's big movie or bust, being in a small city. But Schubert, you can go.
Yeah, no, the one thing I was thinking about with that topic though is the one time that I got to see a lot of really great indie movies was when I was covering New Orleans Film Festival and got to see, go into film festival. So hopefully once we get back to seeing theaters or going to theaters, I guess, then we can maybe have those festival like atmospheres that people will be more willing to go to them, because then you can see like a bunch of movies for very cheap. Like, what was it, 2019 film festival? I saw like a bunch of them are on Amazon Prime, like the Aeronauts.
You got Jojo Rabbit.
I saw Troop Zero. I mean, I saw like a whole bunch of different movies. But yeah, I mean, hopefully that's the way that things going, because I mean, we'd love to get back to the theater for sure.
That is a fact. I miss the theater.
Yes. But anyway, I wanted to ask you some Star Wars related questions. I know that you picked up a High Republic book. How far have you gotten into High Republic? What are you thinking about it?
Yeah, dude. Oh my God. I just picked up Light of the Jedi. If I'm being completely honest, this is my night tonight. I do like binges when it comes to books. And I know that's probably not the best way to read. But I usually finish a book in like a night or two.
I feel that every time I get a stack of manga, it's like I'm doing it in one night. We got to go.
Yeah, I don't do the whole read it by chapter by chapter. So I if I'm being honest, I haven't gotten into it. I'm gonna get into it hopefully before my next episode of Star Wars Sabak the Block is my Star Wars show on Tuesdays at First Cut. So I haven't gotten a chance yet, man. But I'm super excited. Everything I've heard sounds amazing. So
yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely pumped about it, but that kind of makes me want to ask the other question. The Star Wars shows that we've just seen get announced, what are exciting you? Because I wanted to see if Acolyte was something I should get way more excited about. If the High Republic sounded
see, that's
really
something
cool.
we've been debating. Like, what's the thing where he's most excited for Rogue Squadron? I'm over here most excited for like Acolyte and the Obi-Wan series. Where are you leaning with some of these new Star Wars TV?
I heard it on a podcast, and I can't take credit for this. I forgot who said it, but they said that the Acolyte is the one with the highest upside, which I feel like that's a really good way to put it, right? Because it's the one that we know the least about. Yep. So that's the one where if it is like kind of tying into the books, then we get to see a brand new story. Like as much as if I had to rank him, I would say Obi-Wan, but even as much as I want to see Obi-Wan, I would say the Acolyte is something I don't know about. I do know who Ewan McGregor is, and I do know he's a badass Obi-Wan, but the Acolyte, it's like anything can happen there. So I feel like Acolyte is one that I'm super excited for because of the book connection. And also I have to give a shout out to the Cassian Andor show. I think that has a lot of potential to be like super badass, super different than anything we've seen before.
That behind the scenes rail just got me so excited. The fact that we're going to get an espionage, like thriller, get to see all, because when you're growing up, the rebels always seem like the good guys. The Empire always seemed about the bad guys. But one line that stuck out with me in Rogue One was just like, you don't know all the dirty work that I had to do when Cassian's talking to Jyn. And it's just like, what's that gray area of Star Wars that will make me morally question the rebels' like intentions? Because if you look at it from the Empire side, terrorists, kind of like
well, it was like that Mandalorian episode, the most recent one.
Facts.
Yeah, that was my favorite episode, actually, of The Mandalorian. And honestly, Tony Gilroy made a movie that I consider, I mean, if you want to talk about perfect movies, Nightcrawler is like one of my all-time favorite movies. And he's the one who's written the scripts for this show. So it's a Tony Gilroy, I think it's a 10-episode thing.
I think so, too.
But I might be wrong. But either way, Tony Gilroy writing the script, Cassian Andor.
Between 6 and 10.
Yeah, so it's going to be, like you said, like dark, kind of gritty. That's what the Nightcrawler vibe had inside the Star Wars universe. I think that sounds the most different than what I've heard before.
100%.
Yeah, I think what's really exciting about the Acolyte too is that it really has nothing that it's super tied to besides the books. Like you don't have to be like, okay, well, he can't go here because then you have to encounter somebody. Like that's the biggest issues with like Cassian and I'm thinking and Obi-Wan too. I mean, just being
or
like
potential.
in that, yeah,
I mean, you could have like Cassian show up in the Lando show, and Obi-Wan show up in the Lando show and in the Cassian show. Like it's this whole like I think it takes place like all at the same time. I have this weird theory that Lando, Cassian, and Obi-Wan take place during the same time. I might be wrong, but it sounds like that's around like the 10-year gap, 10 years before A New Hope, 10 years after Revenge of the Sith is like around that time where these shows are supposed to take place. So I feel like that's maybe what we can get. But again, this is me like speculating.
I'm keeping an eye on what Alden Ehrenreich's doing because like if he's got some time on his schedule,
he's been saying that for a while now.
I hope so, man. I love Solo.
I love Solo too. So
I really hope we get to see, if we don't get a Solo show, maybe the Lando show could be a Solo show where we get to see Alden Ehrenreich again. We get to see Infus Nest again. We get to see characters that we got to know. I've
been telling Lyndon that I think Chewie is almost a guarantee.
I was about to say,
like you can put him in almost anything because he's in such a span of time.
We do this thing where we bet them, where we say, "Oh, if you would bet your mortgage on it," he's bet his mortgage on Chewie being in the Lando show.
I would too, man. Obviously, Chewie is one of the best parts of that movie, if I'm being honest. Like, Chewie's a full-blown badass in Solo. I was like, yo, they made Chewie like the badass. But I would love to see Chewie. And Junis Satomo is that kind of guy who would be game for like anything too.
Oh yeah, he talks about doing it all the time.
Yeah,
it's like his favorite thing.
Speaking on theories, we since you did one about about Obi-Wan, Lando, and all them being together, I want to ask you one about the Mandalorian time. How do you feel? We've been talking about this about Ezra, Ahsoka, Sabine, Jin, the Mando, and all of them getting ready to do like this Marvel's Endgame for Thrawn, because that's what it feels like. You don't drop Thrawn's name in the Mando series and then say they're about to have this Mando's tying into Boba Fett, tying into Ahsoka, all of this without Thrawn being the main guy. Like, because I don't know who else it would be.
Yeah, you're talking to the wrong guy if you want me to be the realist, man, because I'm the kind of guy who's like, oh yeah, all of them. Sabine is going to show up. Hera is going to show up. Freaking Ezra is going to show up. Like, I literally have said that all of them are going to show up. But to be fair, like, it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense for especially Sabine to show up. Ezra, I think, dude, homie, what's his name? Rahul? He's been tweeting about it.
That's what we said.
I think it's a guarantee. I think he already played him. I think he's already has his scenes filmed. I just think he's like messing around on it because I do feel like it's a guarantee that he's playing Ezra. I think Sabine's going to show up. I hope Hera shows up. I even think Hera could be one of the main characters, or at least one of the characters in the Rogue Squadron movie.
Yes,
because
that's what I
think that makes a lot of sense because it's supposed to be during the rebellion.
Or the Rangers,
High Republic. Or not High Republic.
The Rangers of the New Republic.
Rangers of the New Republic, yeah.
Oh, that's a potential. I never considered that. Yeah. But to me, the Rogue Squadron Patty Jenkins movie, because she says like it's rebel fighters and it's about badass pilots, too. And I was like, Hera, badass pilot, rebel, VCX 100, Ghost, like that would be amazing, man. I would love to see a live action Ghost and Hera just kicking ass.
That would be amazing. But like you said, Sabine makes the most sense to me.
Sabine is like, they have to.
It has to. And with these characters, it comes to a man, Dave Filoni. And how do you feel about the job that him and Jon Favreau have done setting up basically, I don't want to say revitalizing Star Wars, but everybody knows what happened with the movies. But what they have done with Mando just brought a whole new energy and a whole new life to the Star Wars community and fan base. What do you think about the job that Filoni and Favreau have done?
Yeah, man. I feel like season 2 was just such a step up. As much as I loved season 1, season 2 was just such a step up. I can't deny what Filoni and Favreau did. What Rick Famuyiwa, shout out to Rick, because I still think he did the best episode of The Mandalorian, and he wrote a couple episodes too with Dave. So shout out to him as well. But yeah, man, they're kicking ass. I mean, they can keep kicking ass with the shows they're doing, and I think they definitely have the right formula for a Star Wars TV show. We've seen it.
Yeah. I guess the one other Star Wars thing to cover, this Taika Waititi unnamed thing. Are you excited to have Taika jump into the movie, to Star Wars movie space? Yeah.
Yeah, obviously Thor Ragnarok is one of my all-time favorite MCU films. It's in my top 3 MCU films. What We Do in the Shadows is like one of my favorite all-time shows / movies / show. That's a Taika Waititi production. And dude, the writer of 1917. I don't know how you guys feel about 1917, but that was one of my favorite movies of last year. It was in my top 2 of the year. And she wrote the movie 1917, and the way she like planned out the action scenes, she planned out the tracking shots, like all that is in the script. So you know she's a badass. I'm so hyped, man. I have no idea what it could be. I low-key would love it to be something in the High Republic. I think that would be so freaking cool.
Special, yeah.
I also heard not a rumor, but I heard a speculation from a Mexican YouTuber who said, like, what if it's a Dr. Aphra movie? And I would love to see like a Dr. Aphra show, but a Dr. Aphra movie with Taika sounds even better.
Yeah. Sounds wild.
Yeah, it's because it's so goofy and over the top and insane, but at the same time, like action packed.
Which sounds just like Taika.
Exactly. So that could be like a Taika Waititi kind of thing with a Dr. Aphra. But honestly, either or, I would prefer High Republic because I feel like there's a little bit more meat there. But whatever they do, man, that 1917 writer and Taika Waititi just balling. So
before I get to anime, I gotta ask you who's your favorite superhero? Because we never got to that. We missed that. And
yeah.
And what do you think? Who would you like to see? Because we also talked about this on a couple of our other episodes. Who would you like to see as the next big bad Thanos level MCU villain? My vote is for Doom.
Ooh, I like that. Man, I'll say my 3-way tie that it's always like if they're sprinting down, they would literally cross the finish line at the same time. My 2 DC kings, Batman and Superman, are always going to be my favorite superheroes, and then Spider-Man. Spider-Man is always going to be my favorite. So I know that's like everyone says the same, but honestly, man, a big love to Superman, because I think Superman is a badass. I think he's so underrated. I love everything that Superman does in the animated series, in Justice League, and his individual movies. I think he's amazing. I'm dying to see more Superman. Just give me more Superman. I saw like a ton of Superman movies this year, animated movies. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you guys have seen them. The Man Small, Red Son, the other one.
Which one's your favorite superhero movie? Superman animated movie. I gotta go with All Star Superman. Yeah, DC.
It has to be All Star because that's like a perfect comic, man, and it's a perfect movie. I love that movie. I love that comic.
I think the movie might be better than they cut out some of the don't get into it. I love the Grant Morrison stuff, but they cut out some of the super Grant Morrison-y stuff, and what Bruce Timm did, he made it such a tight movie, and it really worked for me.
Also, Superman's the best by far. I still like Superman versus the Elite. I think that's a goofy but interesting, cool movie.
With Manchester Black.
Yeah. I like Apocalypse. Obviously, everyone loves that one because it's crazy packed. I really liked Man of Tomorrow, man. That's the one that came out this year. I dug it. I really did. What else do I really enjoy?
I'm a Public Enemies guy because you're a Superman guy, I'm a Batman guy. Batman's my guy. So seeing them together.
But when they team up, they're like unstoppable, right?
I love Vegeta the relationship. Yes, 100%. And that goes back to the classic one with, I don't know if people remember this. It was on the TV show, but when I saw it, it was released as a movie. It's Batman and Superman. I think it's World's Finest, where Lex Luthor and Joker team up to destroy, and they make like a Chinese dragon out of kryptonite. I love that movie.
Yep. Yeah, I remember that. I saw that when it came out. That's how old I am.
Yeah, it's a classic.
But yeah, Superman and Batman by far are my favorite, and Spider-Man too. Every time Spider-Man's in anything, I'll watch.
Nice. I know you must
the MCU villain.
Yeah, the MCU villain.
Oh, I mean, I think they're gonna tease a Doom because they already cast. What do they call him? the Fantastic Four.
Oh,
I'm not super.
They casted
Yes.
Kang, Jonathan Majors.
Kang,
yeah.
that's why I feel like they're heading that way when it comes to Fantastic Four villains. Everyone keeps saying Galactus. Who else could it be?
That's kind of where we're landing.
Yeah, those were the three names that
Galactus.
we got. Yeah, because if you do Magneto, I feel like it's too early for him.
Oh, Magneto. Magneto's my all-time
I love
my
him.
all-time favorite villain is Lex. I love Lex, but that's me being a giant Superman fan. And if you do Lex right, I think he's like the best villain ever. And Magneto's like my close number 2. Those two are my favorite. But you're right. We've seen a lot of Magneto, man. Like so much Magneto.
And they're gonna have to switch him up because the way the MCU is in present timeline, you can't have Magneto be someone from his past of the Holocaust. And my guess always was making him a civil rights guy, making him like a black guy from like the civil rights era. That was always my thought process of it, just to go full on like how they portrayed Magneto and how he inspiration for Magneto and Professor X was originally Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. I just said you might as well go full on into that.
Yeah, that'd be interesting for sure. I kind of like that. I don't know when we're going to see the X-Men. I kind of feel like they're still going to wait for it, if I'm being honest, especially now with WandaVision. Yeah. The more we see it of Wanda Maximoff, the more it's like, doesn't make sense for Magneto to show up and be like, what's up, daughter? Exactly. But I still feel like if the highest potential, man, is the one you said, it's Doom by a mile. Like there's so much you can do with that. There's so many character development, that stuff that you can do with those. You can make that several films. You can make that like the main villain over like 6-7 films. Like Doom is definitely the highest potential for sure.
And the one other superhero topic that I wanted to ask you is, I have Puerto Rican roots. I'm a big Latino guy. I want to see some, representation in the superheroes, and I'm excited to see Moon Knight, of course, but I really would like to see like a Jaime Reyes Blue Beetle. Who would you like to see jump into the, be the first main superhero for Latino?
Yeah, man, I really do wish we had more. And I know every time I say that, people get mad at me and they're like, oh, we have plenty. And I'm like,
it's
do
true.
we know?
We don't.
We have Blue Beetle. And I'm like, that's kind of it.
I always tell him. I always want to see more from you guys' culture. Like, that's what I need. Like, if Black Panther can happen, we need to have a Latino superhero that, like, has that moment.
Yeah, because obviously I've said this a million times, but it's not necessarily me saying it. This is like, scientists saying this. This is like USC professors saying it. But the article that came out about a year and a half ago that said, like, 25% of the box office is Latino. And 3% of films have Latino leads. 3%, like that's so low. Like even if you increase that to like 15, 20%, that'll mean more money for Hollywood. So I don't know why they do it, especially when LA is like all Mexican. But yeah, man, Jaime Reyes to me is the most obvious thing you can do. Make a full blown, like, give me like, I've actually, made pitches in my head about like, give me like a Diego Luna villain, a young Latino actor, like make it all like brown homies, make it like somewhere in the border or something like that. You can make him like, the character he plays in Narcos. I don't know if you guys have seen Narcos on Netflix, but like a super like gangster, like classic, like, Mexican drug lord, whatever you want to do. And give it to a young Latino actor for Jaime Reyes. Make the suit like cooler than the Iron Man suit or similar to the Iron Man suit. Make it more organic maybe so it's different. But there's a lot of visual stuff you can do there with the suit. There's a lot of cool actor stuff you can do there with like Diego Luna and like other actors that are of Mexican descent. So I think Blue Beetle, I think America Chavez, I think she's a Puerto Rican too.
And I think that's happening though in Falcon Winter Soldier. Yeah. I think that's happening.
Oh, yeah, you might be right. Oh, you're right. She's cast, huh?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, my God. I totally remember that because I read that and I was like, oh, man, nobody talked about this.
But I want like a main, like you said, I want a main one. Like I want to, just from seeing what Black Panther did for like my community, the African-American community, and just Africans in general, I want to see y'all have that moment because y'all deserve it. And the Asian community is about to get that with Shang-Chi. So like, and I'm going to love, awesome. I'm going to love diving into that. And I think it's, like you said, untapped potential. Blue Beetle would make a crap ton of money. And then you do Booster Gold in it? Like, nah, that would make so much money.
I would love Booster Gold, yeah. Booster Gold is one of my favorites. But yeah, I think Blue Beetle makes the most sense for sure. I mean, honestly, I'm the guy who likes Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, I love Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. with all my heart. I've watched, like, all the seasons several times through. I had my own Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. podcast for a short time. So I have a soft spot for Robbie Reyes, obviously, and Ghost Rider. I think he's a badass Ghost Rider, and I think it made sense the way they set him up. But yeah, there's some there. I hope we get more, to be honest. And I think there is a little bit more, obviously now with Miles Morales and America Chavez and some other ones too, who are a little bit more recent.
100%. Miles Morales is having a year right now with just the game, the movie, about to get a sequel. Love that kid. Let's jump into my world. As you can see, let's jump into anime. What are some of your favorite anime that you have? What are some of your favorite characters of anime, and do shows and characters?
Yeah, obviously, man, I got to start with the main one that's literally right behind me. This poster right here, which is Attack on Titan. I've been an Attack on Titan stan since it came out. I've rewatched this show probably hundreds of times. I know everything by heart. I haven't read the manga on purpose, honestly, because I love it so much.
You want to wait for it.
I just don't want to be spoiled at all. Like, that's how much I love Attack on Titan, that I'm just like, I have to not spoil myself. So Attack on Titan's my main one. I have an Attack on Titan show on my YouTube channel on First Cut every Sunday right after every episode is aired at 5 p.m. PST. Attack on Titan with Ben Goddard. So Attack on Titan is my main one. Commander Erwin is like probably one of my all-time favorite anime characters, along with my boy King Prince Vegeta. Vegeta is like nice. My all-time favorite anime character. So I love Dragon Ball Z. Attack on Titan. Honestly, the underrated one, it's not really underrated anymore, but I feel like a lot of people don't watch the series. They just watch the movie. It's Ghost in the Shell. I know a lot of people love Ghost in the Shell, but if you see Standalone Complex season 1 and 2, which is on Hulu.
Thank you.
It's perfect. Like, it's perfect anime. Like, yes, it's literally season 1 and 2. That's it. And every single episode is like the most mind-blowing sci-fi shit you will ever see in anything ever. It's that good. And I'm waiting for season 4 of Attack on Titan to nail it, because otherwise that's my number one when it comes to like perfect anime or like best anime. Ghost in the Shell. I love Psycho Pass. I don't know if you guys have seen Psycho Pass.
Fire.
Season 1 is incredible. I think I love sci-fi, as you can tell, but I think that's a really interesting and weird show. It's really cool. What's another one, man?
That's something that we need more of in anime. Is they left the cyberpunk motif and themes. Like, they had some great from Psycho Pass, Big O, Desert Punk Trigun. That's my bag. I love that genre.
But it stems from like the cyberpunk genre, which is kind of like, obviously, I just said I'm a Ridley Scott guy. Blade Runner is kind of like the cyberpunk creation, right? And then from Blade Runner, the anime creators of Akira was made, and then Akira, you get Ghost in the Shell, you get Akira, you get all the cyberpunk,
the Matrix, all of that. Yep.
The Matrix, you get obviously what I said about Psycho Pass. That's also cyberpunky. All that stuff stems from, and The Matrix is like my favorite movie of all time too. So there you go. That's like my favorite anime, is the cyberpunk sci-fi world, and I still like the big ones too, like My Hero and all of that too. I love My Hero.
100%. I love that you said that if AOT doesn't nail it, it's Ghost in the Shell. For me, if AOT doesn't nail it, it's still Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and I feel like they are cousins, AOT and Full Metal Alchemist, just the way they do political commentary and conspiracy and the way that's set up. I love it. How do you feel about this current season? What's your thoughts about not seeing the gang? We haven't seen the gang yet, and being that you're not a manga reader, how do you feel about, where's the gang? What are we doing in Marley?
Oh, you're talking about AOT?
AOT, yeah.
I got to be honest, man. I love it. I've been a Reiner guy since like season 1. And I know that's weird, because if you're an anime only watcher like me, Reiner doesn't do much. But in season 1 and in season 2, I thought Reiner stood out the most when it comes to side characters, because he had the most badass moments. Because he broke out of Annie's hand in season 1. As soon as he did that, when he like split out of her hands, I was like, that guy's my boy. I don't know who that guy is, that giant blonde dude, but he's my boy. And then in season 2, when he lifted the freaking Titan like he was Brock Lesnar, which I think he's based off Brock Lesnar.
He looks like him for sure.
I think he actually is, man. I actually think that the creator literally said, I just saw Brock Lesnar and I was like, I'm making Brock Lesnar.
Real.
Yeah, and that's why he put him in the F5 position.
Makes a
I was
lot
like,
of
he's literally
sense.
going to F5 this guy off the freaking building, which he did. As soon as he did that, I was like, Reiner's my boy. And then obviously this season's been all about Reiner and Marley. And dude, it's so hype. It's so freaking cool. I love it. I think Reiner is one of the most compelling characters. It's different because you get his perspective. And then obviously ever since Erwin, had his send off, because to me, Erwin was the GOAT. Erwin literally stared down the Armored Titan.
Yeah.
No, the Armored Titan.
The Armored one. Titan. Yeah, that too. Yeah.
When he took off his hood and he's like, what you gonna do, man? What you gonna do? And I was like,
Nothing.
Bro, Erwin is like the gangster, bro. He's literally a gangster. So yeah, I love it, man. I love Attack on Titan this season, man.
That scene where Reiner has the gun in his mouth, and if it wasn't for Falco, it's over. Like, it just shows how powerful that was, and then how he wanted to be I think it's Porco, or Porco's brother was like, no, you're just imitating my brother. Like, all of it. It made, like, seeing these 4 episodes really made Reiner's character even more complex than it was already.
Yeah, Reiner, Erwin, to finish your question, Vegeta is still, I already said Vegeta. Batu from Ghost in the Shell. Batu is like, crazy Marine.
Shout out to our guy, Richard Epcar. We actually interviewed the voice of Batu. Super nice guy. Yeah.
He's got an incredible voice. I swear, Ghost in the Shell is like the one, and I know I'm breaking the internet with this. I'm not really breaking the internet, but it's the one anime where I don't mind the dub. That and Dragon Ball, because Dragon Ball, I feel like I grew up with dub. I didn't watch the sub anime. I watched dub anime. But Ghost in the Shell, Bato, the girl who plays Major is incredible.
Yeah, she is.
Everything else, I watch only sub, and I have to watch only sub.
See, I'm right there. The only dubs that I watch are like you said, Ghost in the Shell, Dragon Ball. I throw Cowboy Bebop in that list just
because Toonami.
Yep.
Toonami had the dub, yeah.
I throw Yu Yu Hakusho in that list, but like all the new stuff, I'm right there with. I can't watch My Hero dub. I can't.
I can't. Yeah. I mean, obviously, I'm sure they're great people and they do a great job, but I just
it's not for me.
The original actors are better. Same with Attack on Titan. I've tried doing the dub, and I'm just like,
no,
this is way better in Japanese. But yeah, you're right, man. It's almost like we have a bias because we grew up with Toonami and we grew up with the Cowboy Bebop voice actors, the Gundam voice actors. Because I grew up with Gundam too. Gundam Wing is one of my all-time favorite animes. I grew up with Digimon. I don't know if you guys grew up with Digimon.
That's my co-host. He's not a Pokemon guy. He is a Digimon stan. Yeah, that's one that missed me. I was Yu-Gi-Oh. I was collecting cards, dueling people.
Yeah. But I feel like those are the dubs that I actually watch. But when it comes to current stuff, you're right. I don't do dubs.
Speaking on Cowboy Bebop and Ghost in the Shell, we talked about that being one of your favorite. How do you feel about anime live actions?
Woo! I could do a video essay on this, man. I think I've done like video essays on this, at least when it comes to podcasts. It's tough. It's hard because the thing about storytelling, just the word storytelling, it really is time, and it really is what you can do with time. Think about a show like Breaking Bad. Imagine Breaking Bad, the movie, and how disappointing that would be, right? Yeah. We would probably all hate Breaking Bad, the movie, because we would just meet this guy and then all of a sudden he goes dark side. That's it. We can't do that in 2 hours. We need 4 seasons of Walter White Breaking Bad. Otherwise, it isn't Breaking Bad. It's the same thing with anime. Most anime stories literally can't be told in a 2-hour time frame. It's just not
There's
possible.
No way.
Even if it's like a trilogy or something like that, it's just still like 2 hours is nothing for like a show like Dragon Ball, which has like hundreds, if not thousands of episodes. Same with Naruto, hundreds of episodes. Bleach, like my God, like so many episodes. Like
they're making a One Piece series. It's going to be a TV series, but even that, I'm just like, that show has 1,000 chapters. Like, how are you going to accomplish? And it's not even done.
So that to me is like the number one issue when it comes to like, let's see like live action anime. And I'm just like, how do you tell the story of like Eren and Mikasa over like a 2-hour time frame over like maybe 2 or 3 films? Like that's a lot. Like look at what we get this season. And even this season feels like a little bit like, wow, we're barely scratching the surface of Marley and the world and
They could do a whole nother show of Marley.
Yeah, like it's insane. So to me, I feel like live action anime is always going to have that hurdle unless it's anime that's specifically made for a short frame, like the shirt you're wearing, man, Cowboy Bebop, right? Because that's a 1-season thing.
Yep.
A couple episodes are just like side quests. So you don't necessarily have to do those side quest episodes. And if you make it a series, which I think Netflix is doing.
Yeah, that's what they're doing.
You have a potential of telling the story of Spike, full story, and not worry about like, oh, we cut out like basically their entire character development. So it's hard, man. It depends what anime it is.
I agree with that 1,000%.
We're also a little worried about like the casting too. Sometimes, when you cast these animes, you definitely don't want to whitewash it.
That's
and a second, it's just, you want to get the actor that you think portrays it right. And so we've always been a little bit skeptical of John Cho. He could really surprise us, but it's still, when you grow up with this anime character, you want it like done a certain way, and you have like it in your mind, and it's just like the casting is so difficult.
It blows my mind because Spike was supposed to be this young, cool dude, and I just picture Henry Golden just smoking a cigarette.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Just
I
like
thought about it.
That's what I always picture. But if John Cho does a great job, I'll love it. But yeah, I'm with him on that.
The problem with anime and the problem with anime casting, and I think the Avatar live action show is going to run into this too, it's always going to be a problem when it comes to younger actors. Most of the anime people watch, we kind of ignore it, but it's kind of weird. They're all kids. They're all 13-year-olds. Like we're watching like in My Hero, we're watching like a bunch of 14-year-olds. So it's a little hard for American Hollywood production companies to cast 14-year-olds. It's a little weird. Like even now we're getting over it. Like back in the early 2000s in Smallville era, when we're casting like 30-year-olds to play 14-year-olds.
That's a fact.
Because we're kind of weirded out by it. And that's why they aged up Spike so much. And that's why they've aged up all these actors so much, because it's like really weird to have like a bunch of kid actors, but that's how the anime is. So you're right. John Cho is a little bit old for Spike, but I feel like that's all anime. They're all going to be kind of old. I actually really like the Faye casting. I love that girl, Daniela Pineda.
Same. I love every other cast but Spike. Like I'm interested to see.
Perfect casting for I.
I'm interested to see the Jet character who's Bushwhacker from Luke Cage, and that's something I want to see. The TV show that I think the anime didn't really do was go deeper into Jet's character that Netflix actually has an opportunity to do.
True. Yeah, we got I think 2 like solo Jet episodes. Season 1. Yes. But either way, that's always going to be the thing with casting in anime is like you're gonna have to cast like an older homie to play some of these guys, and that's why it's always going to be a little bit like hard to accept as like anime watchers. I don't see a future, at least in the near future, where anime fans are going to enjoy a live action. I just don't see it, man. Yeah. And I'm the kind of guy who I worship Attack on Titan. I love it with all my heart, and I would love to work on a live action, but even I would be like, yo, I don't think we could do this.
There's only 3 that I think could work. Bebop's one of them. That's just because of how like Americanized Bebop is in a sense. I think Black Lagoon works because they're hitmen, and America knows how to do hitmen, and Trigun because it's a Western. Like I feel like if America Hollywood's gonna do anime, they need to pick things that are in their bag. Not like you said, Naruto's kid ninjas. Like that's not our culture. We don't understand that. But like hitmen, Western, war stuff, like I feel like that's kind of more of in our wheelhouse.
Yeah, the other thing with anime too, and it doesn't have to do anything with properties, but I do feel like we do get, this is like my hot take or whatever. It's not really a hot take. I do think we do get anime films, but they're not based on anime property. They're just inspired. Yeah. So The Matrix is an anime movie, for example. I always say like that's like an anime. That's what a live action anime would look like, is The Matrix, right? Inception, I think that's an anime movie.
1000%.
It's like sci-fi, like you're in your dreams, you're in your sleep, it has crazy effects. Like that's live action anime to me. Like if you would see it in a live action world, and it's inspired by anime. Christopher Nolan has said that. There's a lot, like Black Swan is inspired by Perfect Blue. Like there's a couple that are taking inspirations, but they don't call it like
an anime movie.
Paprika. Like this is Paprika live action. If they did, then the Paprika fans would be like protesting the movie.
They'd be like, no, 100%. Man, Andres, we could talk to you for like 3 hours because this has been amazing. Tell the people where they can find you on social media. We will definitely ask you back again in the future, but I absolutely love this conversation.
Yeah, for sure, man. You can follow me at Squad Leader Race, which is my Twitter and Instagram. You could also follow my YouTube channel, which is at First Cut. If you look up First Cut on YouTube, it should show up. And follow us on social media at First Cut TMO and our Patreon, which is now First Cut Studios.
100. Y'all make sure y'all go follow I was about to call you Ace by your schmo down here. Y'all go follow Andres, and y'all definitely go support First Cut and everything that him and RB3 are doing, and follow their Patreon. But thank you so much, Andres. Let me throw it back to you, Schubert, to finish up Bros Who Binge.
Thank you, Lyndon. That was really awesome, man. Like, I'm glad that we got to sit down with Andres Cabrera. You know, we've known him in his space with First Cut and the schmoes and all of that, but getting to actually like speak with him, he's a pretty cool guy and definitely likes a lot of the same things we like, and was a great person to have a conversation with.
Could have been a 3-hour pod, honestly. Yeah, like it was something that where we could kept talking to him. So, but I just thank him for coming on and giving us some of his time, and I can't wait to see some of the future stuff we're going to work on, especially with like anime talk and some of the stuff we got planned. But that was amazing. Y'all make sure y'all go follow him. But Schubert, it is time. I messed up. And I didn't watch the Tiger Woods doc. If you want to say anything about it right now, we will talk about it more next week when I watch part 1 and part 2, because part 2 drops this week. So I'll be ready for the part 2 discussion. But if you got anything you want to say about it right here, because that's my fault.
It's fire. It's so fire.
I know it is. I'm mad.
Because like, since his rise was pretty much when like I was growing up.
And we didn't get to see it. Like, we were too young for it.
Yeah. It's like we're watching The Last Dance, where you don't really like understand like what was going on at the time, but like how absolutely giant it was.
Like, we were alive for it. Like, the only thing I remember, and just like, I want just seeing, since you saw it, I want to see how you relate to this. I just remember being young and seeing my Black family all gather around the television to watch Tiger win. And it was like every time he was playing, they were like, they never cared about golf. But when Tiger Woods was playing, it was on my television. And I was like, why is golf on my TV? But that's why I can watch it now. Because like of those young days when I was a child and my mom and dad had on our big screen television watching Tiger Woods win. And I'm guessing they talk about that phenomenon in the documentary of how everybody is watching golf on Sundays to see Tiger win.
That's mainly what part 1 is about.
Oh,
part one pretty much ends at the fall. It ends with his dad's death.
Okay.
So it ends with his dad's death. He wins the British Open, and then
the cheating scandal's next.
The cheating scandals.
Oh, okay. So I didn't miss that. Okay, cool. Yeah, we're gonna dive into it next week. All right.
This episode really goes into how big of an icon he was, how big an icon he was racially, how Nike's campaign, their first campaign commercial with him, touched on how he wouldn't be able to get into some clubs, country clubs across the country based upon the color of his skin. And it was the first time Nike tackled an ad campaign based upon race.
Without that one, the Colin Kaepernick one doesn't happen.
That's what I was thinking. You can see the parallels between then and now with that.
I see why you wanted me to watch this. Okay. I'm going to be ready for next week. This sounds so good.
It's pretty good. You get a lot of stuff about his dad. You get a bombshell that I didn't really learn about his dad near the end.
The thing that I saw in the trailer that I'm interested in is the fact that how he wanted to play. I want to see how he wanted to do other things, but his dad was like making him play golf. Like, do they touch? They don't really touch more than that. They just say it that one time.
It's really like that one thing in the trailer because like you do meet his high school / college girlfriend, which I thought was a really interesting perspective. And
I'm shocked. I'm shocked he let her be on that.
I mean, I'm shocked that they let them say some of the things that they said about him and his dad, like, and their come up or whatever. They get into some pretty touchy subjects in that, and it's interesting. I gotta watch that. Because like that's the thing with this documentary, like in The Last Dance, Michael's in there. He's telling you everything.
Oh, Tiger's not in this.
Tiger.
Oh, Tiger's not involved at all.
Tiger is not in this. This is everyone around Tiger in his life. His caddy, past friends.
The caddy that he had beef with?
Well, I don't know if it's the caddy he had beef with. It was the caddy that he had like during all this rise.
Oh, that's the one that he had the beef with.
There you go.
Oh, no. Oh, I got to watch this now. It just went from 10 to 20 on the spice level. I did not know he was not involved in this.
He's not interviewed. I don't know like what his involvement is on it, but like
what if he's in part 2 talking about the
he
fall?
might be in part 2. He might be in part 2, but like he does not talk about his rise and come up.
Damn, that's all right. Well, I'm gonna be ready for next week. But with that being said, it's time. I don't know what's going on in your honor. This show, it just gets deeper and deeper of the hole that Michael Desiato and Adam Desiato are digging. Which one do you want to talk about first? Because I feel like that's how each week we start. Which
Adam first,
Desiato?
because Michael had so much. Adam's ass
Skis
is going out with this girl now. Straight up going out with this girl that he killed her brother.
Smelling the
her
shirt. Yo, of her brother's last smell. I was just like, what type of monster are you, bro? And no wonder why you didn't want her to drive up to your house, because your dad would have kicked your fucking ass, you idiot.
Oh my gosh.
God.
Oh my gosh.
What a dumbass, bro. And then like he's going to the carnival with her. I'm just like, you realize that. And, then we even do the NYU thing. And he was like, I don't want to leave New Orleans. And she's like, you don't want to leave me. And I'm just like, baby girl, when you find out what he did, you gonna leave his ass real quick or get your dad to shoot him. Like,
yeah, this dude is playing you like a fiddle.
That's a fact.
Dude, what is going through this guy's head? Like, and what's going on with his teacher flame? Like, you know,
it just disappeared.
Who looks just like her.
He has a type.
Oh my gosh. And they're talking about this dude's NYU interview. Like, bro, this dude's going to jail. NYU.
He's going to jail. He's going underground, 6 feet under. One of the two.
This dude ain't going to NYU. Give me a break. What is he gonna say in his interview? Yeah, I killed a dude last week.
And all my
now
pictures
I'm dating his sister.
And all my pictures are from either the dude I killed or his sister and me just talking.
Oh my gosh.
I just don't understand.
And then the sister or whatever, she's like talking to her dad or whatever, and she's like, I met this boy, like his name's Adam, and then like he's trying to like get more information about him. And
what's his dad do? And I was just like, oh my gosh, please don't say judge. Because Jimmy is on one. We could get to Jimmy and Michael. They are on one over there. But real quick sidebar. That's like a side story. Is Lee figured out that Carlo Baxter killed Kofi, and now she's going after his ass with a murder rap. And Carlo Baxter selling fentanyl patches in New Orleans.
Yeah, giving Tom Hanks' son a little bit.
Chet Hanks' son was Chet Hanks, the guinea pig. By the way, loving Chet Hanks. I don't know if I'm loving him because of the persona of who Chet Hanks is on the internet or because he's doing that good of an acting job. Probably the first part, but I'm loving Chet Hanks.
Chet Hanks is what Tom Hanks would look like if he was a druggie.
Tom Hanks wish he looked like Chet Hanks. Chet is a baller out here. I'm a big fan. Bumbleclot, keep it up, Chet. Get your Jamaican accent on, brother. I'm with you. Like, I am with it.
Also, like, you know, going with that whole Carlo thing, he's like meeting up with the
behind
gang.
His dad back. He gonna die. Carlo is good. His daddy gonna cut ties with him soon enough. Because I feel like, okay, well, we might as well talk about Michael, but real quick, the gang is gonna kill him. I feel like if Carlo don't have that money, that's just an excuse. They're ready because like the little boy just keeps eyeing him down. And let's not forget the lady told him, "Wait, we playing the long game. We gonna get him eventually." So like they're still gonna get him for blowing up that kid's house.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be something to do with Carlo.
For sure, especially if you don't have them drugs for, it's over with for him. Or his daddy gonna have to handle it himself and kill him. Because the mama is just down bad, letting him do whatever he want. Rose-colored glasses, her ass. She was like,
I'll make sure nobody bothers you.
I was like, I just want Jimmy to walk on his ass. See, Jimmy is too consumed with the mother putting all that guilt on his back, and he's like, I gotta figure this out. Like, nah, Jimmy, move on, nigga.
Yeah, when I saw this dude like in the Desiato house, like, you know, petting Django, I was like, oh no.
And then wait, when he pissed on the seat and didn't wipe it, were you like, oh, the DNA's there, Michael's gonna get his ass? That's the whole time I was just like, bro, you got to be sneaky. And Jimmy didn't give a fuck. Jimmy cut himself, was cutting grapefruit in the people's house, blood everywhere.
No, that was his
that was his house. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just like, ooh, Jimmy just don't give a fuck.
Nah, he stole something from the fridge. He moved the picture. And
he took a picture. Yeah.
And took the picture.
Okay. So, yeah, he was doing all that at Michael's house while the henchman was following Michael. And Michael's just going through this overdrawn process of trying to figure out who's blackmailing him. Turns out it was none of who we thought. It's just the dude in the back of the car, some skis ball. Dude ended up getting capped by Jimmy after Michael was going to give him a boat and, like, figured out this whole blackmail.
Did give him a boat.
Yeah, he did. Well, he can cancel them bank checks and let the bank repossess that, get your money back. That nigga dead. Or does he have to play it off? Like, I don't know.
No, he did.
That's the thing. No, but like, does Michael have to play it off? Like, keep paying these payments instead of just giving that boat up because he's now an accessory to Jimmy's crime. Like, he saw Jimmy kill this man and he's a judge. What's he gonna do?
He's got more things to worry about than the damn boat. Let that thing get repossessed.
But that's what I'm talking about. But he has so much on his thing. So, like, okay, first off, he lied about his kid killing someone, an accessory to that. He's now an accessory to Jimmy, the kid, the son of the man, the son that his son killed, the father. He's an accessory to the father's crime of shooting this random guy after this dude just scammed this old man for 20 minutes. And this old man thought he was someone that was his friend. And Michael was just lying to the guy, gets information on the kid, and now his kid's dead. Old man not gonna get his Camry back.
He got lucky that Lee kept digging though, because like he had no leverage.
Yeah, he was gonna die. Michael's gonna die right then and there. But I think
he was gonna die for his son too. His son,
that's what I was about to say.
Is over here playing clowning with the Baxter girl. Like, come
clowning, big time clowning. And the dad, like, do we give Michael Desiato any credit for dying for his son? Is that like, does that make him a hero?
If his son wasn't a fuckboy.
I don't know what's gonna happen. And Michael tells this lie that he's gonna get Carlo in his court and he's gonna save him from going to jail, and that's gonna mess up his relationship with Lee. It's just gonna be fucked, bro. He gonna be known as one of those judges that gets paid off just for his son.
Yeah.
Crazy. I don't see how this can end. He's gonna lose Lee. He might lose his relationship with Clarence. My oh shit, Negro.
Oh shit,
my guy.
also was in that curse word Netflix show.
Yo, for saying shit.
I watched all that. Yeah,
dude is amazing. But I'm loving Your Honor each and every week. I don't know how this show is gonna end. I have no idea. Cause like you said, the teacher's still a loose end. What's up with that black Chevrolet? When is the black Chevrolet coming back in the picture? Or will it? Do you think it won't? Or do you think these are loose ends that will never get pulled? I
think there's 4 episodes left, Lyndon. So I think the teacher's coming back because eventually she's going to be wondering why he has been knocking up her door.
You think she's going to get mad that he's banging someone else?
Maybe.
Okay,
because she knows his secret. Yeah,
she does. That's the thing. She does know the secret. That's why I see her coming back. But that's also why I see the black Chevrolet being involved, because they saw at the end of the day they are the witnesses to this murder.
Yeah, there's got to be something about that, and I think it has something to do with Desire Crew.
And do you think it's going to tie back to Desire Crew killing his mom? Because I feel like the Desire Crew killed his mom.
Yeah,
like I don't know. There's so many.
Well, I mean, they definitely killed his mom. And like maybe they were trying to kill him that day.
The judge, maybe. Who knows? Real. So many loose ends they need to tie up, but we shall see. We shall see. But Adam Desiato. Oh, we got to bring this back. Which one is the worst one now? Is Adam still worse than Michael? Because Michael was pretty bad last week.
I mean, Michael's bad in a sense, like he's breaking a lot of laws, and he's supposed to be a judge. But Adam is just such a fucking asshole. Yeah. Like, are you kidding me, dude? Like, you're just gonna go.
At least Michael's a good guy.
Like he has good
intentions
and good intentions. Like he's trying to like save his life and save his son's life, and he's trying to fuck it up. And
he's trying to save the people whose lives are in the consequence of his son's life. Because like he could have killed that dude. He bought that dude a boat. Like he's helping these people at the end of the day. Like the only one that got fucked is Kofi Jones, and even then he tried to help Kofi by getting Lee as the lawyer. So like Michael has good intentions, but Adam's just a fuck.
Yeah, and he helped that dude's dad.
Yeah, he did. That's a fact. He did help that
He felt
dude's
sorry
dad.
for him.
That's a fact. But that's all I really got on Your Honor this week.
Dude, it was wild. That show's wild.
I got you. Yeah, it is. It's super wild. It's the best show on television right now. Yeah, I will. I definitely will. I got to. But Your Honor.
Yeah, I guess it is at the moment. Yes,
it's the best show on
there's
TV.
about to be a lot of stuff coming out, but
will Your Honor, depending on how it ends, is this something that we could see stick around to the Bros Who Binge Awards as like one of the best shows of 2021? Because I'm counting it for 2021. I'm not counting it for 2020.
Yeah, because the resolution will be in 2021.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be. It just depends on how much it strikes a chord
and how it ends.
And I mean, like we're gonna have like what Falcon Winter Soldier this year.
I have The Boys probably again.
I think what is Umbrella Academy season 3 coming out.
I think
this
it's filming right now. We're gonna have Titans. There's gonna be a lot of shit. We're gonna have
Titans.
The Book of Boba.
The Book of Boba, which might go into 2022, so I'm not gonna hold my breath on that one.
True. But Your Honor, I'm loving it. I'm glad that this is our show right now because it's a good change of pace from our superhero sci-fi. It's good to see some real life crazy shit. Like this is my bag. I'm loving it.
And we were both big fans of The Night Of, and this definitely brings it back to like that serious drama.
And we love Bryan Cranston.
No, I mean I never saw all of Breaking Bad. So.
Oh well, I love Bryan Cranston.
One of my biggest. Why are you doing a TV show pod? You never seen all of Breaking Bad?
It's okay. You have a couple of those, but I have a couple of those too. Like, but I cover your back for those. Like, you cover my back for the ones I don't have, and I cover your back for the ones you don't have. Like, I cover your back for Sopranos, Breaking Bad, The Wire, but you cover my back for like comedies I've never watched, like Friends, How I Met. Like, you cover my back for those things. But I will say, the thing that drives me insane is that Bryan Cranston is Michael Desiato, but I just keep seeing him as Tim Watley from Seinfeld. Tim Watley, the dentist. Did you know that all of Breaking Bad was in Seinfeld? Like all the main people, Saul, Bryan Cranston, the wife. Like it just blows my mind every time I see them.
Not an Aaron Paul.
Oh, he was too young.
Yeah,
and Hank was a nobody at that time.
Yeah, that's true.
So, but like the main people blows my mind.
Seinfeld's so fire, dude. It's such a good show.
It is. I watch it so much.
Yeah.
But that's all we got this week.
That's all we have this week. Make sure that you check out everything we've been talking about on the movie On the Rise. Look at those pre-interviews for the pitch and match February 4th. That is February 4th. And definitely get geared up for that because it's gonna be really exciting. It's gonna be on Twitch. So if you don't have Twitch, make sure you download it, get it running.
Twitch.tv/Bros Who Think.
Yeah, Lyndon also has some Twitch streams that'll be going on before then, so make sure you catch those. And if you haven't started getting on Your Honor, we definitely advise you to.
Yeah, it's one of the best shows out, man. You definitely should. And be sure to check out all the other content. Like we talked about the NFL playoffs on the Bros Who Think podcast. Get ready for next week. So if you haven't checked that out, check that out. Like Schubert said, follow us on Twitch for February 4th. The Hastic interview is out now, so check that out. The Dan Exclaims one will be out on Monday, so there's a lot to look forward to. But again, February 4th, 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. West Coast. February 4th, Thursday, February 4th, the Pitch It season begins. It's going to be a great show. Doors open at 6. The match will get started at 6:10, 6:15. Me and Schubert are going to open it up. I'm trying to go find my wig, man. I need to get like I need to get a blonde wig because like I'm not going to be Lyndon, the competitor. I'm going to be the announcer, Bo Billingsley. I got to go get my wig. I got to get everything going. I got to try to find me a blonde wig in time.
If you've gotten to the end of this episode, please retweet it, send it to your friends, especially if they're people who've listened to First Cut or Schmoes and know of Andres Cabrera. Make sure you go check out his stuff with on First Cut or Geeks of Color, or go check out the Schmodown. And also, don't forget that we're going to have our Run It Back come out next week. We're going to be talking about The Godfather.
Arguably the greatest movie of all time. Well, yeah, part 2 is the one that they say is arguably the greatest movie of all time. But still, Godfather, I'm hyped for that. Have you seen it?
Yeah. Me, I have seen it, but it's been a very, very, very long time.
You probably don't remember it.
I probably do not. Because like what I was telling you guys off air was that 1 and 2 blend in because like when you watch it, usually like watch it all together.
Yeah.
And so like sometimes I don't remember which part's part 1, which part's part 2.
I love part 1 so much. Like part 1's the Sonny one. That's with like Sonny and Carlo beating up his wife and Sonny getting killed.
Oh, yeah.
I love part 1.
Yeah.
That's my jam. Part 2 is the one where fucking Fredo betrays the family. Fredo, my brother, you betrayed the family. I'm gonna have so many Marlon Brando isms on that episode. You come to me on the day of my daughter's wedding. I'm so excited, but that's next week.
But it's definitely gonna be fun to get with Lyndon and Ian and do that back on Run It Back. And if you have any suggestions for what we should do next, we have our ideas. But if you have a movie that you're really clamoring to hear us review, let us know,
and we'll put it in the list because we pretty much got our next one chosen. But unless someone suggests something amazing, then it'll probably be that one. But we'll put your choice on the list to be next selected. But that's all I really got this week, Schubert. Make sure y'all follow Bros Who Think at Bros Who Think.
Make sure you follow me on Twitter and Instagram, aschubert14, or follow Lyndon or the Bros Who Think Network. And I hope everyone out there has a great week and stays safe. And as always, keep binging.